Hello, everybody, and welcome to another horrific game. Today, I'm joined by Derek and Adam.
Toodaloo, hello.
This is our second session of the Haunting part of the Call of Cthulhu game system by Chaosium. If you're not familiar with Call of Cthulhu, it's an investigation-based game. It's more or less tied to the works of H.P. Lovecraft and what has become known as the Cthulhu mythos, which he generated through his works. With the game, though, we're never going to encounter Cthulhu because that's just game over. That's
oh, well, I don't want to play anymore then.
Oh, well, sorry, bye. Nice knowing you. It's one of them strange games where to succeed means to fail. Because the more you know,
like
the
life.
more you go insane. Like life. The less you know and live in blissful ignorance, the better. But humans being humans, we like to find out stuff. And that's what we're going to do. So in this scenario, the Haunting, we have O'Malley's Investigation Services. I'm going to have our characters introduce themselves in a moment, but O'Malley's have been around. It's 1923 in Boston, and reasonably successful private investigators. Ian O'Malley looking to retire and has his two apprentices, so to speak. The idea being that once they prove themselves and get a big enough score, they'll take over the business. And the only thing he wants is for his name to carry on as a legitimate, successful investigation company. So that's what we're playing. Obviously, day-to-day investigations is set in this world and not in the supernatural. So the whole fun of Call of Cthulhu is things can change very rapidly. So first of all, Derek, do you want to introduce your character?
Sure. Okay, so I'm going to be playing Rob Horton. I'm a former medic from World War I. I was assigned to a ship, the HMS Malaya, and I've seen some horrific things on that ship, some things I can't explain, and it's caused me to have some issues. But the character is usually pretty intelligent and thinks that he can explain away things, but he just can't seem to get rid of this dark shadow in the back of his mind. So he's a little haunted.
And Adam.
My name is Gerald. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm an artist of the highest degree. Well, not in sales, per se, but certainly in spirit. I love the occult more than nearly anything else, girls aside. And knowing that O'Malley is on his way out, I figure this is the perfect place for me to get on my way in and investigate some of those more occultish scenarios. See, I'm obsessed with the idea that there are greater intelligences out there, possibly intelligences that might want to share with me. And I would love nothing more in life, other than selling perhaps a few paintings. If you're interested, I could show you some later on. Than to be introduced to some of this arcane knowledge. I've dabbled around some of the more, whimsical organizations like the OTO and the Golden Dawn, and it's all rubbish. But I'm certainly prepared to meet, those of ancient wisdom and knowledge. And I'm ready for it.
Well, gentlemen, without further ado, shall we dive in?
Sure. Can I, does that mean that he's Fox and I'm Mulder?
I think that's a road we're going down. They're really out there. I don't think I've planned spaceships for this, but so yeah. So to open up, we are in the offices of Ian O'Malley's Investigation Services, and both Gerald and Rob are two apprentices. You've been with O'Malley's for about 2 years now, so you've done quite a bit of investigating. You've uncovered quite a lot of adultery, financial fraud. You have looked into property scams. You have brushed, but generally stay away from the mob because you know that's not necessarily a good place to go. You're both quite savvy in the investigative world. You're really picking up your feet. For two people that have come from outside to sort of feel You've actually progressed quickly. Ian and Molly, while happy with you both, just wants you to prove yourselves with that one job, that one score. And with this, he calls you into the office. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Are we ready for another day?
Yes, sir, Mr. O'Malley. Yes, sir.
I don't suppose you have anything to dip into this coffee, do you?
That's not even lunchtime yet. I'm sure.
I am a distinguished gentleman. This is when we begin.
Well, if you
Nip
can
of the
hold
bottle?
yourself together, we have a potential client coming in, Mr. Knott. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he owns quite a bit of property in Boston, particularly down the docks, and he's recently moved into residential properties rather than sort of commercial.
Right.
He's a wee bit of an issue, and I'm hoping that he's going to help us. This could be the chance, boys. He's quite a wealthy man, and if we can get him on board, and if we investigate properly, there could be more jobs. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's
I'm
a
all for
wonderful
it.
idea. What was that, Rob?
I was just saying I'm all for it. Are we going to need to tail his wife or something?
I don't think it's quite like that. He's due in actually, and as we speak, the phone rings from the secretary. Mr. Not here to see you. Yeah, okay, great stuff. Send him in. So, secretary brings Mr. Not in. What you see is quite an unassuming, middle-aged gentleman. You can kind of tell he's a man of means, but he underplays it. Got a wee bit of a nervous tick, sort of head down slightly, wrings his hands. He sort of comes in. He's not really used private investigators before, so it's a bit medium. So he sort of comes in. Mr. O'Malley, yes, thank you for taking time. I'm not quite sure how this goes. Am I talking to all three of you? Molly obviously. Oh yes, certainly. Please come, grab a seat, gentlemen. If you sit down, so Mr. Knock can tell us what he requires of the agency.
Absolutely.
So rather than stand up and just everyone grabs a seat around the desk. There's a sort of the left hand side. There's a guest chair normally brought in. So Mr. Knott just thank you. He sits down and Molly picks up the phone again to Jess and Jess, some coffees, please. Right away, Mr. Molly. Right away. And that goes on. So it's all quite formal. Molly's like, well, obviously, as you know, I would normally take a case myself, but I have two very accomplished investigators, been with the agency for quite a while now. I'd like to hand this investigation over to them. Of course, if any help's required, I'm here as backup. But Gerald and Rob will be more than capable for your needs. Oh, thank you. Oh, who wants to? What do you need to know?
Rob, do you want to take this?
Well, I pull out a notepad and say, so I guess what is the nature of the issue that you need us to investigate?
I don't want you to think I'm not someone who takes to delusions, but I recently picked up this property. I wanted to start. I've made the money in commercial field in the docks. I've more than enough, and times are hard. And it looks like times are going to get harder again. I just want to provide some affordable housing to people, families, try and get people into sort of central Boston. And you know how it is. If you have a house, then you're gonna be more affable to making money and helping the economy and the community. I kind of want to do that all the time. So I bought this house. It was going as a bargain, and I'll be honest, I have my first tenants. And God, I don't know if you read the newspapers and heard of the Corbett House 6 months ago.
The Corbett House?
Yeah, that's what they call it. I never even knew until I bought it.
Can you tell us a little bit about this Corbett House?
That's I only found out after that's what apparently they call it. Apparently there's some sort of history behind this house, but I had the Macario family. They moved in, lovely couple, 2 children, and quite frankly, I'm astounded. Vittorio, the husband, he went insane. He actually had to. He was saying things were staring at him and throwing things at him, and he was seeing ghosts and apparitions. And
Really?
I've never heard
I dropped my pen while I'm writing. All of a sudden I just dropped my pen and like, ghosts. You say?
I don't know. He just went to say that he had to be actually sanctioned and taken to Roxborough sanatorium. And I thought, okay, maybe a working man looking after his family. The pressure got to him, but a month later, his wife Gabriella, she went exactly the same way, saying there were voices and things pulling at her in the night. And like I said, not even a couple of weeks, a month later, she had to get sanctioned as well. She's in the sanitarium, and her kids had to get foster with relatives. I'm completely shocked, and nobody will rent the house from me since. They say the house is cursed. They say that I'm a bad landlord and I'm trying to swindle people, and my whole reputation is at stake here. And I'll be honest with you, gentlemen, I don't know what to do.
What was the husband's name again? I got Gabriella, but what was the husband's
Vittorio. They were Italian in family. Good people. They had obviously recommendations, or I wouldn't have rented out the home.
Do you mind if I ask you a question quickly?
Of course.
In many
please.
cases, I've heard of something that's just started coming up in the news as of late. It's called lead poisoning. Is this something you're familiar with? Perhaps rather than a supernatural nature being the cause of this, perhaps it is just something as simple as lead.
It could be, but I don't know, and I don't want to have the house ripped apart in case it's something else. Maybe that's something you can help investigate. I just want to find out what's going on so I can rent this property out. Like I said, I want to start buying more properties and make them affordable so that families have a chance at a start in this great city, that we can get more working families out and jobs and places to live. And you know how it is.
Yes, of course. Have you spent any time in the house? Have you spent time in this house at all alone?
No, to be honest.
And these were the first
I came
tenants?
in with the investigators. Obviously, as a landlord, I'm on the rental property desk. So when Gabriella actually called me, worried about paying rent, but her husband is a hard worker, and they've actually their deposit in a month in advance, so I had no issues. I didn't know the extent. I thought, like I said, it might have been stress, but when she had to get taken away as well, I'm honestly astounded. I don't know what to say. I've never had this happen to me in my life before.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of prospects or what kind of job did Vicurio actually do for a living?
He was a restaurateur. He owned a pizza restaurant, quite a popular one, I believe, and he was well liked. Actually, one of the why I got good references for him.
Has anyone else been able to identify, and my voice quivers a little bit, supernatural phenomenon in the house before?
People will talk. I only heard this Corbett house after this happened. Some of the neighbours, in fact, there's no neighbour. It's mainly office businesses, but I spoke to one of the local shopkeepers, Mr. Dooley, and he mentioned it. But honestly, I don't want. If I start talking, you know how it is. If I start talking about supernatural and ghosts, nobody will ever rent from me again. I'll become a laughing stock, and people will think that I'm putting people in danger. Obviously, gentlemen, you understand how superstitious people are. Like that's the last thing I want to get out. That's why I've come to you rather than you're saying that for that. But I don't know. I want this. looked at, but quietly. This is my reputation.
Right. We may have to stay there for a little while after the investigation, depending on what turns up. Is there a certain time frame that you're looking to have all this completed, the answers discerned?
Obviously, it takes as long as it takes. I'm more than willing to compensate you. But I'm sure you can appreciate time is money. The quicker I have an answer, but I want a proper answer. To show you, I'm not a skinflint. I'm prepared to pay you $25 a day if you can look into this.
I look
Well,
at
yes,
what's our
I'm-
average rate? Do we know?
About $12
Okay.
a day.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good for that time.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's actually a whole chart. Out of game, there's a whole chart of what you can buy in the book for 1920s.
So how is
Uh,
O'Malley reacting? Is he just sitting there, just taking it in?
He's sitting, taking it in. He's at the stage now. He's slightly shocked, and his instincts would tell him to jump in. But this is your test. He wants to see how you guys handle it. So he's sort of looking, and he's more because he's dealt. Don't forget, he's 30 years plus in the business. He's heard of ghost stories. He's been through the mill, so he's kind of looking at you two to see how you react, and he wants to see effectively how you react as investigators to this sort of news. Are you going to be like, what's this supernatural stuff from ghosts? Come on, we're in the 20th century. What's wrong with people these days? Still believing in that archaic nonsense. So he's looking at you both basically, not harshly, but studying you to see how he's reacting this. But you could tell, that he's got that listening eye, and he's just sort of nodding along, and he doesn't show much emotion when he's interviewing people, because that's obviously one of the skills.
Right.
But you see a slight twitch in his eye of what is this?
Well, this sounds right up my alley. What do you think, Rob?
Well, I don't like ghost stories because I don't think that they make sense. But
Come on,
I
old
bet
chap.
you we'll find something. We'll probably find something that will explain all of this. Maybe we should go first to City Hall and check out the records on the property, and maybe we should do a little bit of background on that. Then we could go maybe interview the previous tenants, and then I'd say go check out the house if we have access. Are there keys that we can use to get in the house? Something.
Absolutely. Whatever you need. Mr. Knott, he pulls into his pocket. He takes out the keys, and he also pulls out his wallet, takes out $50, 2 fives, and hands you both $25 each. Sets it on the table in front of you.
I scoop it up quickly, put it in my money clip.
Yeah, one more question is, do you have any enemies or anyone that would want to do harm to your business?
No, even though, as you know, property is very competitive, especially in the docks. But I've always managed all my life to conduct business without. I don't believe in ripping people off. If you do honest business and you show yourself to be a reputable man, the money comes to you. I'm no pushover, but at the same time, I've not done anything drastic to warrant having an enemy. But of course, it's a property business, maybe because I've decided to move into. This is my first time moving into residential properties and housing families. Have I maybe upset somebody? I don't know, gentlemen, but obviously this is why I've heard O'Malley's use it the best. I was going to go to Stevenson's, but
No, don't bother with them. They're a bunch of fools, to be quite honest. We are well situated for this sort of investigation, and we can get it taken care of in a decent amount of time, and probably end up seeing something like lead poisoning. I wouldn't worry too much about it right now until we have more information. Is there a contact that we can reach out when we do learn more?
Of course. He pulls out his business card, and obviously I've given you my details. Your secretary Jess has been wonderful.
She's a doll.
She was actually really calming on the phone because I was at my wit's ends, fellas. I just don't know how to deal with this. This is completely new and it's very, very strange.
Yes. Well, I think we can handle this. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I think this is well within something that we can handle, and we will make sure we keep you well informed of anything that we find. But I think we have enough to at least start. Unless there's any other pieces of information you think that are worth passing on.
No, but of course, I'm available anytime. If you need to call, please, I will, of course, pick up the phone. Obviously, if you need me to go anywhere, I will, but I'd rather my name, I'd not be seen in public or be taking part in anything that, my reputation's everything, gentlemen. I'm sure you can appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Mr. Knock. We will make sure we will do our best to be discreet.
Oh, thank you, O'Malley. Oh, well, Mr. Knock, obviously, as you can see, you're in very good hands. Of course, we'll make regular updates, and if you need anything else, of course, please reach out. O'Malley stands up, shakes Mr. Knock by the hand, and sort of ushers him out towards the door.
I'm sorry, what was his name again? Mr. what?
Mr. Knott.
Knott?
Knott. Knott.
Thank you. Sorry.
So, O'Malley leads him out the door, closes behind him, goes back, ushers for you to bring your seats around facing them, as opposed to the sort of more relaxed environment that was there for the client. Well, gentlemen, what do you think?
I think I'm very excited about this. I honestly don't believe it's anything more than probably a sickness or an illness of the mind. Perhaps they're not getting enough sunlight. But if it is, the possibilities are tremendous and exciting.
No. Remember, I know you get excited about certain things. We know your opinions. I would urge you not to let this cloud your investigation. Remember, we are still a reputable firm.
I will conduct myself with the utmost gentleman dignity.
Okay, so I'll say it over to you fellas. What's the plan?
Rob, I think you had a capital idea. Check out
I think
City
the
Hall.
first thing we should do, check out City Halls, check out the records, maybe go to the library, see if there's any news clippings we can find on the property, anything that goes back further than the issue with the husband and wife going crazy. But I just want to make sure there's no history that maybe someone's using that to make a hoax or some sort. It might shine some light on something. And then I think we should definitely, if we can, interview Mr. and Mrs. Mercurio. Yeah. I think we should check reach out to them and actually go and visit them and maybe talk to their doctors, verify that they're not making things up or trying to. I don't know if there's maybe some sort of insurance thing going. I mean, Mr. Knott seems like an upfront person, but never know. Maybe he's doing something to collect some sort of insurance money. I don't know if there's something like that can even happen, but I'm just trying to look at this from all angles. So
good point.
Right.
The last thing we want to do is be caught up in a scam. Or as much as he said about his reputation, obviously our reputation too.
Right, but it's a sanitarium. I mean, I've heard rumors that if you go inside a sanitarium, you don't come out normal, if you come out at all. It is something that I'm concerned with, if I'm being honest.
Huh. They say the same thing about churches, too.
Well, you come out well-fed with a new book. So he did leave his keys and everything?
Yes, he's left his keys, his business card. He's handed over the $25 each. So Molly's like, okay, gentlemen, where to first?
So I have a heavy influence in library use. So do you want to both go there at the same time, or do you want to split up? How do you want to do this?
I think if you want to hit the library and I can go hit the City Hall, we can get two birds with one stone pretty quick, and then we can meet up back at the diner, the diner that we always use for our meetups downtown. That way we don't have to come all the way back to the office.
Okay.
Mario's sound good?
Yeah, Mario's sounds great.
What? Meet what?
Mario's Diner? Just
Mario's Diner. Done and done.
We love Italian. There's a theme here.
Especially when I talk with my hands. Okay, gentlemen, good luck. Obviously, I'm on hand if needs be. But one thing before you go, he opens up the right-hand drawer, sets a petty cash box at the table, just taps it.
Take
I suppose you want.
I take $10 and put it into the petty cash drawer.
It's best to be taking money out and not putting it in, honestly.
Aye, gentlemen, you know we pay into the house.
All right, so I'm going to drop in a tenner.
I was actually only going to ask for 5, but yeah, thanks.
Ah, well, I mean, whatever we normally
I was thinking
do.
about the
Our number rate's $12, so right now we're still up. A $5 or $3 that we normally would get paid. So, and he takes a cut of that too. So, yeah.
Well, everything, obviously operating expenses, so
yeah,
it all goes in. Right, okay, so who wants to go first?
Do you want to go ahead and go to the city? Oh, okay. I'm going to head to the central library.
Okay. So, we should put their names in the thing. So, Gerald, you head to the library. As you know, it's been there for years. It's well known. Everyone goes there. Find out information. It's open. There's you go in. You've got a nice foyer. There's tables and desks where people might fill out forms. There's various government forms. Recently, there's been like these automobile things that people can buy and register with the government. That's become a thing. IDs, council, for people can just go to a kiosk, gather around, fill in the form in relative privacy. Going behind the desk, actually, past reception, you can go into the main library itself. And as you know, there's research rooms. So, do you want to?
I want to approach the librarian and ask her for any particular help.
Okay, so you go up to the front desk and you see the sign, Stephanie Richards, head librarian.
Pardon me, doll. Stephanie.
Okay, so let's have a wee roll. What are you going to do? Are you going to charm or persuade?
Oh, I was just going to ask her for help that's in accordance with her job, gathering research information, any microfiche that might exist, something that about the history of that house or the neighborhood.
Okay. Right. So
Corbis house.
So you see a receptionist on the desk. Obviously, you see the sign for head librarian. She is kind of at the back, sort of behind the scene. She's within sight. You can guess it's her just by her mannerism. Do you want to just make a general inquiry at reception, or
do I want to what?
Do you want to make a general inquiry with the receptionist, seeing you're not actually trying to get help?
Yeah, if there's someone like sitting there, because she apparently is in the back or something.
Okay, well, she's behind. You know the open sort of desk, almost like a bank teller's, where you have the front,
right,
and you have always somebody sitting at the reception. But then you've got remember back in the Dewey Decimal System, so you've got somebody in the back. You see all the rows, and they're paying the cards, and generally, so you can't see her. She's within sight, but
I clear my throat loudly, trying to get her attention. Did she look over me?
The receptionist just.
I'd like to talk to Stephanie, if I may. To the receptionist.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, we're in the library. People are trying to work.
I apologize. I would like to talk to the librarian, please.
Certainly, sir. Just 1 second, please. She ambles over to Stephanie.
Really, this is ridiculous.
Stephanie's kind of turned around and side-eyed you a bit. She's like, oh. So, puts her glasses up down. Yes, sir.
I was hoping that you would be able to assist me. You see, I'm looking for information about the Corbis house, particularly the neighborhood around the Corbis house. Is there anything you could find, records?
I'm sorry, the what house?
The Corbis house, down by the docks. Certainly, you've heard of it.
Oh. Well, I can. You can go to property records. They're in floor 2, just behind the office. What doors you need, but
Oh,
I
you're
don't know about actual names of houses. You can go by the neighbourhood, and if you've got the property address and the zip code, certainly, sir. I don't know what else you could ask from me.
Well, if you're not going to take me there yourself, I'm quite the conversationalist. Then I'll be happy to go on by myself.
Right.
But might I call on you again, and perhaps we could talk a little more about, I don't know, what it is you do here, the Dewey Decimal System, or perhaps, I don't know, lining up books on a shelf?
Give
Whatever.
us a charm roll.
Just doing my best to
Yeah.
the worst.
Madam
how do I-
Librarian.
Right. So
Hey, they're crazy, man. Don't put down the librarians. They are wild in the sack. All right, so my charm is 40, and I rolled a 22.
oh right, success. So despite your sort of curt manner, she's a bit intrigued. She's like, "Is probably people like him don't probably come in here," and she sort of quivers a little bit, but still slightly annoyed at you that you've come in such a brusque manner and into her thing. She's kind of like, well, if we're of course are always here to help. Are you happy to carry out the research on your own? Have you got that capability?
I'll be sure to reach out to you if I need any more assistance. Thank you.
Well, you know where I am, of course. And she kind of, fixes her hair a little bit, but still maintaining her,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sir, as I said, second floor, room 3 is the sort of microfiche property area.
I take a relatively long look up and down, give her a nice smile, and tip my head a little bit, and I move on.
So everything's well posted out in the library, and you can easily find.
Yeah, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to look up the neighborhood, see if anything strange has happened within the last 10 years, if there's any sort of records. Is there any indication how far back these records go?
Well, if you had asked if you had maybe asked the question, you may have to ask that question again. Obviously, there's a limited time the library has, but give us a library roll.
Library roll. Okay, so that is 70. My roll is. Oh, you know what? I did 2d20 last time, not 2d100. I totally messed that up. Wait, it's not supposed to be 2d100, is it?
No, it's 1d100.
I'm doing this wrong.
It's okay, 1d100.
So the first one would have been a 30, which is still a success. The second one.
Have you not turned on your 3D dice?
Oh no, I don't like the 3D dice.
All right, okay.
I rolled a 75, which is outside of my.
All right, you're just kind of floundering here. You're just picking up random records.
These microfiche don't seem to be assembled in any discernible order. This is maddening. I'm going to go back down to Stephanie and try to get her to help me out, since I'm clearly sort of lost. But I'm going to do my best to be charming and gentle.
I think you kind of noticed, seeing you past your charm roll, you kind of noticed that the sort of direct approach isn't necessarily the best way. The make her brisk up, you're not going to get the best out of her. The sort of softer approach might.
Pardon me,
work.
my dear.
Oh, back so soon. Did you find what you're looking for?
Well, it seems I'm quite clumsy with this sort of thing, and as much as I do spend time in here reading the classical literature, I find myself a bit lost when it comes to property files. I would be in your debt if you or perhaps one of your assistants could assist me in any way.
Certainly. Geraldine over here will more than happy. Geraldine, no, it's over to another one of the assistants working back. Could you help this? I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, sir.
Gerald Hellstadt.
Mr. Hellstadt, if you could just go with Mr. Hellstadt. You're having a bit of trouble with the microfiche. Just
please do call me Gerald, Stephanie.
Gerald, well, of course, Gerald, if you're happy enough. Geraldine, if you wouldn't mind. Geraldine's kind of student-y type, trainee librarian, keen, still a bit wide-eyed of the world. She sort of said, hello, sir. Yes, please, let's go. You probably got a bit confused by the the sort of record system we use, it's not strictly by year, it's by publication. But that's okay. We can go through it. It's okay.
Gerald and Geraldine, this is going to be famous. We're going to just get along quite well, I'm sure.
Certainly. Also, you just walk up together, you go towards the records room, and basically just starts showing you the index system. It starts making a bit more sense.
Yes.
And you can tie in the numbers with the approximate year. And then you understand that you have to go to the drawer on the right and go by zip code to find the sort of property. And then you can go and look for events. There are some stamped, but it's not guaranteed. If there's any pertinent events pertaining to a property, they are marked, but might not be there because it obviously depends on people's upkeep of the records.
Okay.
But you can tell this is a reasonably run ship. So explain to Geraldine what it is you're trying to find.
I'm looking for information about the Corbett house. And so I give the address, down by the docks and stuff, and just trying to locate any type of information that is out of the ordinary that's been reported about that home or anything in the direct vicinity.
So it kind of goes back. You see here, in 1835, there was a prospect merchant built the house, but strangely enough, it's recorded, which for that time is not common because illness was a thing, but the suddenness of his illness after building the house was very strange. But he then sells it to a Mr. Walter Corbett Esquire.
Walter Corbett Esquire. All right, so I make note of that. Do we have access to these handouts outside of you just popping them up?
We should have them then available.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in the journal section. You should be able to see them.
So once I show them to you, they'll be in the
perfect
journal
Okay,
section.
so I make the appropriate notes in my notepad. And is there anything else I find about the area or anything like that?
Yep. So once again, you see that a bit later on in 1852, for some reason, Walter Corbett was sued by his neighbours, and they petitioned to force him to leave the area in consequence of his serious habits and unauspicious demeanour. So he rattled a few cages.
Right. Interesting. So I'm taking notes about all of this stuff. So this seems.
Geraldine's still with you. That's very strange indeed. I wonder if there's anything else. And she kind of goes off in her little. She's got excited now because this is we're solving a mystery. Mystery. Something's going on here. And then she comes back to you. It's like, oh, look, there was a court case. So the Corbett won the lawsuit. And she shows you the piece of paper, and his obituary in 1866 states that he still lived in the same place. It also states that the second lawsuit was being waged to prevent Corbett from being buried in his basement. Apparently, he requested that when he passed, he wanted to be buried in his basement. Right. But that didn't go. He died before obviously that came to fruition. Well, it looks like it. Obviously, this wouldn't be obviously the library wouldn't have that. That'd probably be the court records as to what happened there. But according to this, it was still ongoing.
So I'm a little bit confused. What was the first lawsuit?
So the first lawsuit was to have him removed from the neighborhood.
Okay.
Because he's basically creeping out. He was creeping out the neighborhood the way he was behaving, but Corbett won that because there was no founding grounds. Right. But he had actually started on that a second lawsuit, wanting to be buried.
Okay.
He sued him as well. When it went to public record, somebody told, and they started another petition to basically prevent him carrying out his last will and testament.
Right.
So when he lodged because I think you have to go through the Cemeteries Commission to state where you want your body to be buried.
So that was
If you're providing a will.
1866. What year is
So
this?
he died in 1866.
Right. What year are we in right now?
1923.
Okay, so we don't know the outcome of that.
No, that won't be here in the library.
Okay. So I'm going to make a note that we need to go
As she
check out.
Says here, there was no outcome of the second lawsuit, so he wanted to be buried in the basement of his home. The neighbours started a petition to prevent that, but we don't know if that actually came out.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to take this information. I'm assuming that Rob is off doing, what he's doing, and he's
Well, that's
probably
what we're
not
going
finished.
to go to Rob next.
Yeah, so I'm going to get all this information, and I'm going to look at her and just give her a nice smile and a nod. I really do appreciate all the help that you've, all the attention you've given me. If there's any way I could repay you, I am certainly open to the gesture.
Oh, sir, it's a pleasure. If you let me know, this seems quite, dare I say it, there's something strange going on here, wouldn't you say?
It is a bit exciting, isn't it?
She kind of, gets with her. Oh, sorry.
I'll make you a deal. I'll come back and inform you of anything else I find if you agree to have dinner with me sometime.
Oh, of course. She's only she's only maybe 21, 22, still a bit bright-eyed and obviously. But of course, sir, it'll have to be maybe lunch. Dinner's a bit, suggestive, don't you think?
I don't mind suggestions, but I do appreciate your concern. So
lunch sir, it is. You presume too much. She kind of goes bright red and.
I wouldn't want to present anything untoward, so we can luncheon if you'd prefer.
Well, lunch would be fantastic. Please, and let me know. Obviously, what's going on here? This is fascinating. This is probably the most excitement she has had in a long time.
Right.
Some strangers coming in now. There's an investigation, and looks like there's a mystery to be solved.
Yeah. Okay, so I head off to the diner and just wait for Rob.
All right, so Rob, where are we going?
We're going to City Hall, and we're going to check the records for. I want to check property tax records as well as any sales. I want to check for the history of the house and any permits that were ever filed for the building of the house, or changes or modifications to the house, or any kind of reports or anything that shows any kind of maybe there was some sort of issues with the house of some sort that might have been reported.
Okay, so
like that.
A lot of these buildings are all the same sort of, Edwardian sort of design, the sort of column. So pretty much every official building looks the same. So you go in and it's almost identical to the library. You've got your kiosks at the front for people that are doing their business. You've got your reception desk, and then obviously you can go into the back for the records. So you come up and you meet the reception, sort of the desk clerk.
Do I recognize them? Do I recognize them? Have I talked to them before?
I don't believe so, unless in your backstory. Have you dealt with the Hall of Records?
No, I'm just asking just in case I've done this before. I don't know if this is.
Do you know what? Give me a luck roll.
Sure, luck roll. Okay. Let's see. Where's my?
You never know. It's a small world.
Yeah. Let's see. Luck. My window bigger.
Some windows are bigger than others.
Now, do I just click the roll or just do a D100?
It's D100, and then it's obviously the same or lower.
I have a luck of 60.
60, yep.
Okay. Oh, I think I went over 60.
69. So,
oh, come on.
You look at him, right? You don't know him, but because you're a regular visitor to the Hall of Records, you've kind of recognized him. There's a slight bit of recognition, but you haven't built a rapport with this guy.
Okay.
And he kind of goes, "Oh, hello, sir," and you know that sort of awkward, slight recognition. He sort of knows you, but he doesn't.
Okay. Well, I just
you see his name. You see Greg Williams, county clerk, on the desk. Little gold thing at the front desk. So obviously people like to put when they're taking their turn in reception, they put their little gold, the little gold desk signs.
Mm-hmm.
Seen them, so that was always their thing with the set it in front, so people know who they were, and if they moved desks, they carry it with them. And obviously, the next stage would be to have the name on their front door, on the door of their office. But for the moment, their little desk is their empire. So you see quite proudly Greg Williams, County Clerk, and his little sign in the front desk.
I walk up and I say, Mr. Williams, hi, my name is Mr. Horton. I'm doing some background research on a property. There seems to be the owners has some questions. I need to check into the Corbett house. And I give him the address.
Sorry, sir. The what?
The Corbett house?
Never heard of it. Is that?
I give him the address.
New building being planned?
Oh, no, it's an older building that was acquired by Mr. Knott. He has been renting it out to some of his tenants, and there have been some complaints. And so we were doing some research on the property to make sure there's nothing that was overlooked when he went to do his discovery and purchase.
Is that Simon Knott, the property developer?
I believe so, yes. He most of the time he works out of the docks or has a lot of property down by the docks. This is his first real estate dealing.
The clerk kind of goes, is he buying people's houses now? Is that his next thing? Is he going to price people in their homes? What's going on here? The clerk kind of sits up and looks at you intently as if, what's going on here? This could be a story.
It's just we're doing some research on the property to check out the history. He had some questions because of, I guess there was some information that was not given to him when he purchased the property.
Oh, right. Well, sure. Obviously, property records. And sorry, what was that? And you see he's kind of glided his notepad and he's written down not, and you kind of say property scam with a question mark being jotted down. And sorry, you said the Corbin house? The Corbett?
Yeah, Corbett house. I give him the address.
Could you spell that?
Yes.
Can you?
It's right here. It is Corbitt. And if you want me to spell house, I can House.
Sorry, there's no need for that. There's no need for that, sir. Obviously, I was trying
so my
to
question
take some
is,
information down in case you needed further assistance, but obviously you're much more intelligent than me. So I'm guessing you can find your way and
with him
as you see fit.
Well, Mr. Williams.
Second room to your left, sir. Good luck.
Oh.
I just go to my left. I'm like, all right. I just walk by.
He kind of adjusts his sign.
I never.
Right. So you go into the records then. Give me a library roll as well, please.
Library. Did that trigger? Let's see. We'll try it one more time. There we go. Ooh, that looks better. Yeah, 10?
10? Oh, right. Oh, you are flying. You're just whizzing. You just recognize the symbol straight away because you've been here before on a number of occasions. So you eventually find the zip code, you find the record, and you see that some records show that the executor of who rolled that for?
I think that was a delayed reaction because I think I had to click my button twice.
Oh, right. Okay, that's it.
The first one was the one I first rolled.
You passed, Captain. You passed.
I don't want to stop.
I'm giving you Flip's sake, you pick up a dice and go and throw them at the poor old Greg. Like, what did Greg do to you?
Well, he was kind of rude.
How to not make friends and influence people, eh? So you say that civil court records show that the executor of Walter Corbett's will was Reverend Michael Thomas, pastor of the Chapel of Contemplation and Church of Our Lord Granter of Secrets. Sorry, Gerald doesn't know this shit.
I want to
What
be
is
there.
that? So what is the Church of?
The Church of Contemplation and Church of Our Lord, Granter of Secrets.
That sounds strange.
Totally normal.
Okay.
So the Register of Churches, which is obviously available, Magic Pastoral, you could find that as well if you look it up, notes that the closure of the Chapel of Contemplation in 1912.
So that was only what? Was that actually 8 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Is it 19? What year is it exactly?
1923, sorry, 11 years ago.
11 years ago, okay. All right, so Reverend
Well, and
Michael
obviously,
Thomas.
thanks to everybody in the chat for jumping in. Obviously, we don't want to interrupt, but it's good to see you getting on board with us and in this spirit of things. So, yeah, Reverend Michael was the executor of Corbett's will, which, well, obviously, he's got an interesting conversation that happened. Yep. That is all the official information available in the Hall of Records.
All right. Is there anything in the tax documentation or any kind of that's been gathered? Who basically, what I'm looking for is who filed the taxes for the last several, like for that property? Do we know like the names of individuals so I can go back as far, or is that kind of a dead lead?
Well, maybe if you had a county clerk on your side, you might dig in, because obviously if people are taking out long-term leases on a property, that's a bit private, and especially if there's like a trust.
Well, usually public records are going to have something like about who owned the house or something like that. Who pays the property tax? Not exactly what the taxes are, but I'm looking for ownership to see who owns the property and when it changed hands, kind of thing. I'm looking for basically anything that shows that who might have had some sort of grudge or anything. If they've
give me another library roll.
Sure. Oh, that's 90 something. That's not good.
Yeah, you see nothing.
Okay.
All right. So,
is there anything else that I should be looking for?
At the moment, that's basically it.
Okay.
So, what are you doing now?
I start to leave, and on my way out,
Okay, on your way out,
I leave.
Give me a spot hidden.
Spot hidden, sure.
Yeah, give me a spot hidden as you hit the foyer.
Oh shit! We should have gone together. Fight! Someone's gonna smack you with their glove. Demand satisfaction.
So there we go. 35. My spot hidden is, where is that? Spot hidden is a 60.
60.
So I got 35 should be good.
As you're sort of going out, you kind of leave. You're not drawing attention to yourself, so you're not quite visible. Just as you turn the corner, you happen to see Greg. He's away from his desk, but he's over at one of the desks at the front, and he's kind of whispering it in. You see, he has his notepad in his hand, and he's talking to someone.
You can never trust anyone named Greg.
Okay.
Life hack.
I walk over to basically just listen. What like does he? If he's on the phone, I'm gonna try to listen to the conversation.
No, he's left his desk and he's walked over to one of the. Like I said, there's a set similar to the library. There's a sort of set of kiosks where people maybe fill in forms before going to the front desk or gather things. It's just that sometimes people are gathering paperwork and they want to organize themselves before actually going in to search for records, or when they come back out, that they just want a moment to just sort themselves out. So there's like a little booth that he's on the right hand side, and you see that he's over. He obviously knows the person he's talking to.
Okay.
Nothing sinister. Person's reasonably well dressed. You
Okay,
see a glimpse of a little, what might be a pass of some sort on their front pocket.
Huh. A pass, you say?
Yeah, like a sort of card, a pass someone would use if they maybe need to get in somewhere or show who they are in an official capacity.
Not like
Oh,
hi,
so
my
it's
name
credentials?
Yeah.
Well, if he was
You
wearing
might
a sign, I could have told
actually,
him.
that's a good rule. Like a press pass, maybe. Something like that.
Okay, well,
And Greg's kind of whispering excitedly to them.
I'm going to go over and just try to, like, nonchalantly walk near so that I can see if I can hear what they're saying.
Okay, good. What will that be?
Just put a newspaper in front of your face and you'll be good. That always works.
Give me.
Well, if I put glasses on
another
it,
look.
that's all.
Let's have another
right?
look roll. Let's see if you're lucky, because it's not although it's a large, it's not a massive building, so you could walk past them without being seen. But if you're gonna maybe linger, there is a chance that you'll be noticed.
So you want me to roll luck again?
Give us a luck roll just to see how you can.
Okay.
You got this,
Just a
man.
second.
I believe in you.
It's taking its time. Come on.
Why does yours take forever?
I don't know. I just clicked on it and it just like.
Is it the animation?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I haven't got the animation shown here.
There we go. 51. My luck is 60.
Oh, right. Okay. So you don't want to get too close. You're sort of close, but they're whispering on it. You kind of hear, yeah, maybe a scam. Not. Is he going up against the mafia here? Probably there's one of those investigators. That private eye firm? I've seen them. I've seen them in here before. And the person that is speaking to, yeah, what do you think there's a scam here? Wow. Obviously, if this turns out to be a story, that'd be well worth your time. Maybe if they come in again, find out what they found. Is he still back there now? And they both go to turn around.
And I walk right up to him and I say, so I didn't seem to find a lot of what I was looking for. But if I find out that you're going to...
Sorry. Yes, as I was saying, yeah, if you look here in the records, yeah. Sorry, one second, just look at this patron. Give me a second, sir. I'll be right with you.
If you're going to spread the rumors about Mr. Knock, I will inform him that he might want to have his office reach out to City Hall and inquire about a Mr. Williams, who seems to be extremely noisy. And I start to walk out. Have a good day, Mr. Williams.
Through the hand, why don't you?
I said good day, sir.
I'm a government official. How very much dare you?
You know who I am.
Do I see who the name of the nameplate for the person that he was talking to?
You see a picture of a sort of like a globe in the corner. So you kind of know it's the Boston Globe.
Mm-hmm. We should have gone together. We could have done good cop, bad cop. We could have got information out of these guys.
Right. So did you agree to meet? Obviously, he's agreed to meet up at the diner.
Yep. But I didn't find out the name of the person he was talking to. There was no name plate or.
No, you just caught a brief, and because you kind of charged in there and didn't walk on, you missed the opportunity.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes a sledgehammer isn't the most useful tool.
Agreed.
I disagree.
So you two guys are meeting up for lunch. I'm guessing tomorrow's.
Yep.
Play it out. Discuss.
So I'm already sitting there waiting, and I'd already pre-ordered drinks and some. I know what he likes to eat, so I had pre-ordered everything so it'd be ready. So as he walks in, I'm just sort of like waving him over.
Yeah. So obviously, of course, for the mechanics, your characters don't know what each other have found out. So this is where you have the discussion and start piecing together what you do have, and then decide the next action.
Right. Rob, how are
you
you
doing?
Want to
go first, or do you want to? Oh, I'm doing fine. How are you?
Role play it out.
Well, I have to say, I was quite successful of securing a date for later on. Did you have any luck on yours end?
No, I'll be sleeping alone tonight.
Well, that's too bad. Strike out yet again,
Maybe
I say. No, but you were in there. Did you have any problem finding out any information? I've got quite a bit.
Well, I didn't get a lot, but I do have a piece of information showing that in 1912, that when Mr. Corbett died, the executor of his will was a Reverend Michael Thomas. It seems that he is a reverend over a church with a strange name. I'm not quite familiar with it. Let me see if I can. The Church of Contemplation, Church
Chapel
of Our
of
Lord.
Contemplation?
Yeah, something like that. Something about Granter of Secrets.
Oh my! I cannot tell you how excited I am to hear about this. I've heard that there is some strange information about how it burned down back in the day. So he was involved in the chapel. Okay, let me tell you something. Mr. Corbett is not the innocent individual that we may believe, though it may be his house. He built it back in 1835. He was a prosperous merchant. I was unable to determine what exactly he was a merchant of or in. I do have to say that his neighbors didn't have a taste for him. They struck up a lawsuit trying to get him evicted just due to his behaviors, obscure and strange, that sort of thing. Anyway, he won that lawsuit, but he wanted to be buried in the basement of all absurd notions. Could you imagine rotting in the basement? How is someone going to move in and live? Anyway, we don't know the outcome of the lawsuit that came up after that, but we know that Mr. Corbett is dead. He wanted to be buried in the basement. If he's dealing with this church chapel of contemplation, perhaps they know something about, the chapel, the structure itself burned down. Do we know if the organization set up a new chapel anywhere?
You don't yet.
Okay. So I suggest...
How are the dates working out with that?
Sorry. Oh, that's way after this, right? So I'm talking about the 1835 to 1866 time frame. And I don't know, when did the chapel happen?
The chapel happened, I don't know when it burnt down. I have no idea.
So the notes closure of the chapel in 1912, right?
How's
the Hall of Records?
I'll ask again just to lead your conversation. How are the dates working out with all this?
So
I'm talking about the backstory of the house and the obscurity of it being built and everything, trying to add to the clarity of what could possibly be going on here. He just brought up the Chapel of Contemplation, which sort of sent me off on this long diatribe about the history and the connection to that structure and just my personal fascination with the burning of it. But the chapel burned in 1912. And so we're in 1923. So that was, 11 years ago. So at some point we need to determine.
Okay. I'm just going to say that's right. Just tells. Sorry. No, I thought there might have been a wee bit disparity with the dates in the executor, but.
Yeah, this one was about the executor. I don't know anything about the burning.
I
don't know anything about a burning of the chapel.
Yeah, that's what I was bringing up.
Sorry, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
It's just something in my background notes of something that I'm interested and fascinated by.
Gotcha. So
now it could have been the mob.
Yeah, the mob. That's something strange. Do you know that clerk? Was it Greg Williams? I informed him of what I was researching and if he could provide me information. It seems that he got really excited when I told him that we were doing some research for Mr. Knox's property. It seems he was talking to someone with the Globe. Something about the Globe. There's the something about the mafia was being whispered when I walked by. So there is a mafia tie-in, at least rumors that Mr. Knox has some sort of dealings with them or had dealings with them.
Right. Didn't he mention that he didn't want mob dealings with this when he came into our office?
I don't think he did, but I could
have sworn there was some sort of mention of the mob early on.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to have any run-ins with them, but
right. Yeah, in the initial conversation, he's very protective of his. Don't get this in 1920s.
Understandably,
still that sort of mindset of reputation's everything, scandal. It's not like today where people have scandals every 5 minutes. An actual scandal with a prominent businessman would be the end of them.
And printed in the Boston Globe, no less. So, I truly believe that if there is any connection with the mob, it is tenuous at best. I suspect.
Sorry, I'll have to share this comment. You'll appreciate.
Look around us. Is there anyone?
As
sitting
all the
here?
papers go down and people look, and you see people's hands just starting to.
Yeah. No, I mean he's looking for a story. Clearly, he's fishing, right?
Well, yes, but he works for the Hall of Records, or the I mean, I don't understand why he would even care unless it's a tip off. But regardless, I think we need to stop that story from being run. If there's anything we can do to prevent that from happening, because I'm pretty sure they're going to start looking into that.
Would you recognize his face if you saw him? If we visited the Boston Globe headquarters?
Colin, would I recognize his face?
Yeah, you had a good side-on glance. You were quite close, but you weren't stealthy enough to maybe pick out his name and the badge. You just saw the logo, which obviously being Bostonian. Don't forget as well, places like the Hall of Records, not just private investigators, but journalists, official. You know, I mean, that's how people got information. So you'd have all sorts, and by building up connections, depends how quickly. And don't forget as well, you've got other private investigators. You do have competition.
Oh, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah, that's
so
fine.
If you're onto something,
I'm asking more.
That could be a juicy story or a good investigator. You know, don't forget you run the risk of alerting your competition who might beat you to the chase. Just an FYI out there.
Well, we have the key, so they can't get in.
I'm just surprised that no one's heard of this place in the last 11 years. Everyone that we've talked to.
Yeah,
I'm talking.
I've had the same experience. The librarians, though they were very interested in me for obvious reasons, they didn't seem to understand Corbett House or the docks at all. Strange.
Well, did you know about the Corbett House?
Did we know about it?
Yeah, in general, your characters would.
I don't know.
Think about the.
No, I definitely understand what you're
context.
saying. Yeah.
In the main city, compared to maybe a neighborhood or a rural
someone
area.
comes up and asks you about some random person's home, you would have no idea, of course.
Yeah. So just think about it in that context, you know, if you're throwing about that particular thing, but like I said, just a site-friendly keeper's warning, you know, don't show all your cards. You don't know what's out there.
I mean, show them to who? We're just talking to each other, right?
Yeah, we're just talking to each other. So the thing I'm saying is no one recognized the house when I say the name. So the house is older. It was established almost 70 years ago, and it's a situation of it has somewhat of a history of people going crazy that live there based on the information that we've gathered. And we really don't know much about like what no one's paying attention to it, so no one knows it's happening. Is someone sweeping something under the rug, do you think?
I think it's either got to be a real estate magnate wanting to keep things private, of course, naturally, and wants to keep business, keep his cards up his sleeve. You had mentioned that the Mr. Knott had mentioned something about the mob. I don't think, unless we have any actual evidence indicating mob's dealings with this, perhaps we could look into that. But at this point, it's just sort of hearsay. This Church of Contemplation, again, I don't want to keep going back to it, but the fact is you did discover this at the Hall of Records. If we could find this Reverend Michael Thomas of which you speak of, perhaps he would have more information about Corbett's history and the outcome of that lawsuit and whether or not he would be buried in the basement. And I'm not a superstitious man, but I do want to believe in such things, and perhaps it's his ghost that is driving the residents mad.
Again, well, we could always just go to a payphone and call an operator, see if they have a listing for Reverend Michael Thomas. Maybe he's still in the area.
I think that's a capital idea. After lunch, I'm gonna start shoveling whatever we're eating in my face. It's been a long day. I want to make sure I have energy for later on.
So,
sure,
trying to think. You started this round about just after lunchtime. You're
I mean, we would have spent a couple hours investigating.
Yeah, you spent a couple of hours in the library. You're coming up to about tea time.
I don't know what that means.
Dinner time, maybe about 5, 6ish. So you're busy having dinner. It's about 5 o'clock. So in terms of investigation, obviously you're quite tight for time in terms of official buildings. So
churches are always open.
Public record business, but obviously the press office is always open.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, can I? Is there a payphone nearby?
Let's see, 1920s. The diner probably has a phone, but it wouldn't be a payphone.
I mean, I'm assuming there's one within a mile of where.
It'll be sort of rotary. So if you can talk to the proprietor, maybe charm them, persuade them.
I would rather just go use a phone.
You know,
I'd rather use a payphone. I don't want to use I don't want anybody that wants to overhear, because I've already made a big enough mess. We could go back
to our office, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'm looking for a payphone.
Well, you can of course travel back to the office and speak to Ed.
So are you saying that there aren't payphones around? Is that
in the 1920s?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
That's what I'm. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, as in they are around, or as in they're
not. I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking if there are payphones. I would assume there were.
There are payphones. There were sort of in.
Held a dove, a carrier pigeon.
Yep, the original. The Western 50G3 slot payphone.
Oh, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, the original 1920s, very Western. Yes, with all the bit. It's the the one with the.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, they'll be about. They're not on the streets, right? About they'll be inside a building.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you might just have enough time to go back to either the library or the Hall of Records, or go to your office.
Right. Do you want to split up? Because I want to learn more about this Reverend and see if there's anything about him opening up a new church from the Hall of Records. Do you want to give someone a call, whatever you're going to give a call, while I go back in there?
Well, I'll go with you. It's just a situation of, I just was hoping maybe we could find where this Reverend might be. And if there's listings, we could go there tonight. But
yeah. So,
Colin, are you saying, like I said, there's no issue getting a payphone. You can speak to the operator.
Let's do that real quick then. Yeah, let's do that.
But the payphones won't be in the, like you're used to, like the 70s, 80s, or on the street corners.
Right.
They won't be there. They'll be inside. For example, the foyer where you'd have the desks and that, you would have the payphones as well.
Mm-hmm. No, I got you.
Because just the technology of the time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, let's go do that.
Where are you going to?
Do they not have one in the lobby of this restaurant?
It's only like a diner. So
no? All right.
No.
Well, we can go out and, I mean, we live in this area.
Yes, they were available, sort of the first payphones around about that time, but they weren't as widespread.
No, I understand. But we live in this area,
60s,
right?
It was more the 60s that the payphones were in every street corner.
Right.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not saying every street corner, but I'm saying, like, if I was a business and I had payphones and wanted to drive traffic, I'd have big signs saying, I got payphones, because they're going to be like...
somewhere like, you have to go to a building where they're in. So, as I was saying, just pick... I
mean, we live here, right? So we would know sort of system stuff like that. We know where this subway is.
So, there's one in the library, there's one in the Hall of Records, or hotel, if you can find a hotel nearby.
Well, if we're going to go right back to the Hall of Records anyway, let's just go there and use that.
Or you can go to, if you know a hotel nearby.
Yeah.
Go to a hotel. Yeah, the hotel foyers would have had them, because the sort of larger ones.
I just want a place that has a little more, it's going to be a little more private. That's really all I'm looking for. Just a little more private.
As a suggestion, if the two go together, one can keep watch, just to make sure nobody gets too close.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so pick a hotel. It doesn't matter in terms of the game.
Okay. Well, before we leave, I want to sort of look around and see if anyone's paying any attention to us more than usual. I mean, I know we're a couple
give me a spot hidden.
Handsome blokes and all, but
Yep.
Spot hidden is 50, and my roll is 88. No, I got sauce in my eye. Oh, it burns. Oh, the garlic. Oh my god.
Ketchup in the face.
Why did we go Italian?
All the papers immediately go straight back up again. Woof, in unison. Nothing suspicious at all.
Well, that's normal. Well, we're all good. Everything's great. Definitely no mob here. All right. So I'm just going to follow you, Rob, because you were just at the Hall of Records if you want to go there or if you want to stop anywhere in between.
I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
As long as I'm asking for the GM because I can't envision what's going on in your mind. So I'm saying I would like to go to wherever I know there's a payphone that is it has the most privacy. That's really all I'm asking. So I would assume I would know where one would be. I'm just asking you, where would I go for that?
So say there's a Hilton hotel. I don't even know the Hilton existed, but what was it? Rockefellers. Say there's a Rockefellers on a block away. Just go to one of them.
All right, let's go.
Okay, let's do that.
Like I said, just for the technology, you can't just go to a street corner. You have to go somewhere. Just making you aware of that, because sometimes it's difficult to get your head in space in like a completely other time zone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right.
So
I'm gonna keep an eye out as he goes to use the phone. I'm gonna stand outside that space and just sort of watch around for anyone that might be walking by or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pick up the receiver. Click. Operator, are you there?
Operator.
Hi, operator. We're looking for a Reverend Michael Thomas. I believe he used to run a church. We're trying to see if we could find a location or an address for him.
One moment, sir. Leave it with me. She goes, I'm sorry, sir. No listings here.
Okay. Is there a listing for the... Sorry, I'm pulling up my note. 1 second. Oh my gosh, really?
Chapel of Contemplation?
I love the way that everything pops on top of everything else. Here it is. Okay, it says, for Chapel of Contemplation, Church of our Lord, Granter of Secrets. Is there a listing for that church?
Just a second.
Most nefarious sounding church
I'm
ever.
sorry, sir. No, nothing for that.
Interesting. Okay. And then no dice. Hang up the phone.
All right. You know, what would be wonderful is if we had this sort of source of information that flew through the air, that you could just use some sort of device to just grab and just learn. You know, I don't know, maybe a mobile telephone that taps into something called the intertubes or something.
That's
yeah, it's too bad they don't have phone books these days.
Pure H.G. Wells type territory. That crazy author that wrote things about spaceships from Mars.
Well, if perhaps we could run to the Hall of Records, they might have some sort of information about any new chapels or perhaps the old one.
No, it's a good idea. Let's go there.
I'm gonna hustle, sort of speed walk so we can get there before they close.
Right.
I mean, we have a lot of places that we could check out still. We can check out the Boston Globe.
Don't forget, this is just day one. And what happens is just you get that. You want to do something at night time, fine, but we'll just close the day quickly when you're done and start fresh. So there's no major hassle. It's just more if you're revisiting of your previous relationships and encounters could play into this.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, just let us know when we're there.
Yep, anytime. It's not you're not traveling. Most of the government buildings are sort of central, so they're not like massively spaced apart. So
yeah,
you're kind of in central downtown Boston anyway, and that's where all the record keeping places are. So
okay, so I'm just going to go back to wherever we would find the regular sort of records for buildings and businesses.
So so you go back to the Hall of Records, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so when you're in the foyer, give one of you want to give me a luck roll?
Let's see, where is luck?
Luck is on your main attributes. It's the third column, third row.
Okay. So do you want to do it or do you want me to?
I got a 60. What do you got?
Oh, I only got 55. You're good. I'm not very lucky. Okay. I mean, I'm going to be getting lucky, but I'm not lucky.
That looks good. 38.
Okay, so as you go in, you notice that Greg has either finished his shift or went on lunch break. So you've got Frederick Jameson sitting at the front desk this time.
Do I know him?
Freddy from back in the day.
You've dealt with him before, actually, because you've been back and forward. Yeah, you're not best of friends, but you have a working relationship. You've obviously called in a few times looking for it. Do you want to
Walk up to Fred and say, "Hey, Fred, good to see you again."
Rob, it's been a while.
Yeah,
how
it's
goes
been
tricks?
some
How's the investigating business?
They're it's going. It's a little tough right now, but you know how things are. There's a lot of competition out there.
Do you know what? It's getting tough for everybody. There's rumors that there might be a thing called the depression coming soon if we keep going the way we are. I think, in my opinion, I think the war just sucked the life out of everybody, and we're still obviously God bless the souls that went. But I think the knock-on effects are still with us, and maybe for a while yet. There's lots of businesses open and closing, and it might sound a bit callous, but we've never been busier just with businesses opening and closing and names changing. It's you know how it is. Unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast. I don't like to be overly busy with such things, but we do what we do. We're a public service after all.
So you do truly believe there's a trend of a depression on its way? It's not just a recession?
I'm not one to go about rumors, but it's there's a lot of businesses closing. There's a lot of things changing hands. It's not looking good, fellas.
Right.
Well, is that just speaking of competition? You haven't by chance seen the Stevenson's investigation group roaming around lately, have you?
Oh, they were in this morning, as always. Obviously, of course, I'm blind. I can't tell you what they're looking for, but
those right jackasses.
Yeah. Well, if you see them, let me know. I just want to keep an eye out for them. We've been thinking that there's a possibility they've been trying to get into one of our investigations, and so I'm just just if you see anything, I leave $1 lying on the counter, and I just say, and again, thank you for your time, and we're just going to go check something up real quick.
He moves his hands up to brush some dust and just takes $1, pockets it. And of course, Rob, as always, you've been well and decent to me over the years. Anytime you need help, just give a shout.
Thank you so much, Fred.
Right, so you're going again to the Hall of Records, or
we're looking for.
What are you going to search in? Because you went to properties before, so you going to businesses?
Yeah,
I'm going to let Adam take lead now.
Yeah, I would love to go check out any sort of nonprofit organizations like the churches and see if I can get a list.
So give me another library roll.
Okay, so I believe mine was 70. I'll double check here in 1 second.
45.
And
right. So
45.
There's actually a whole section for nonprofits and charities. Ones that basically claim tax exemption. So you go find them. You're looking from 1912. So you know that the Church of Chapel of Contemplation closed down. You see another record just started up straight afterwards.
Really?
The Contemplation Society. And you see Reverend.
These people and their names, man. All right.
So you see the Contemplation Society started up straight after the chapel closed down, and you notice as well that their primary is not just spiritual guidance and awareness, but a thing that's known as legacy protection. And you see a strange note. It kind of says to maintain family names and their presence and identity in a sort of more corporate, sort of greedy world.
Okay. Is
which
there any
is-
business registration address?
There isn't. It's actually still the same address as the church property.
Okay. Do I know that just because I was interested in my backstory, or can I write down
Yeah,
that
well, you
address?
have an interest in the church. Obviously, you heard of the incident when it burned down, and it was all very hush hush. But you kind of know from your background that there was something not quite right. It wasn't your standard accident. And it's funny how, especially a church burning down, considering the era, would have been considered a tragedy and been all over the news.
Hmm.
For some reason, this was strangely quiet.
Okay.
There was police involvement. You know that. But yes, this society started up the same year as the church ended, and this legacy and protection of names. Give me let's see, give me one more library roll, please.
Okay.
Oh,
3. I'm on this one.
You see that you know you see a property reference because you were in the property file and you recognize the start of the code from your previous visit, though it doesn't tell you anything exact. You get a record number that you know is from the property room.
So I'm gonna just immediately follow that lead. Try to
Okay,
find that
so
record.
I was like, go into the property record room.
Yeah.
Not even gonna, you know, I mean, that was a fantastic. So you go in, you find obviously you have the property record number. You go in, and funnily enough, it relates to the Corbett House, and you see that the Contemplation Society has taken out a 100-year lease on that property, but for some reason, this was maybe not brought because it was so well hidden or obscure. The property was actually sold due to the fact that nobody was there to sign it off. So nobody contested the sale of the property.
Right.
Money was transferred to one of the donors, but you don't have their name in the society.
Mm-hmm. But
you don't know who it was. So the property was held in trust by the Contemplation Society until it was bought by purchased by Knott.
Okay.
2 years previous.
Okay.
So how long was 100 years it was owned by the society?
Mm-hmm.
Does it say when that began?
2 years ago. It's basically the after 1866,
mm-hmm.
the church maintained the lease.
Right, but did it say when they started that 100-year lease?
In 1866, after Gordon's death.
Okay. Interesting. So,
but the 100-year lease was able to be broken, and somebody from the Contemplation Society did sell the property, but you don't know who it is.
Okay. So after Corbett died,
mm-hmm.
the society took over the lease and had it for this insane length of time, and then someone through subterfuge sold it over to our client.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Rob, the next step, we need to contact our client and find out who exactly he dealt with.
Yeah, but the thing I have a question about is the society. I mean, are they where are they based out of? Do they not have any records or anything like this? Because how is it even being recognized if they don't have an address? So we should.
The address is the Corbett's house for the registration.
No, the address is the church property.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
The lease was on the Corbett house, but the address of the church is still the church,
which is burned down.
So the house was burnt down. That's probably the reason why they were able to sell it, because if they destroyed the church, they probably destroyed anything that basically showed record of them owning it, or maybe anyone who was possibly killed. Maybe we should go to the police department, see if there's any case records of anybody that might have died during the church burning.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with that at all. I guess I'm trying to follow the trail here because we have a direct connection with whomever sold it to our client, and that is someone in the
Yes.
society itself.
But how are we going to find it? That person? Do you think? We just go talk to?
I mean, he
Mr.
must have
Knott, he's
records
going
of
to be
it
able to
being
give us that
purchased.
information.
I mean, we're
Unless he did it through a subsidiary.
right, but we don't know. I mean, all we know is he's the
Yeah.
direct connection we have right now to the society itself. The only one that we
Yes,
have.
but I
at
just
this
want to make
point.
sure that just a note. We should definitely talk to him, but I want to just make sure we make a note. It says that the society was based at the church. The church was burnt down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if there was any kind of nefarious actions that maybe people will pop up dead around that time the church was burnt down. And I'm just saying, let's keep that as a back note.
So the
But yes, we
society,
should
the society was running at the same time as the church,
Mm-hmm.
but the society
no.
didn't really come into the radar until it took over the 100-year lease. But it was very quiet, and the church is the organization is surrounded in mystery. So this society is really, until you guys discovered it, nobody would even think twice. It's just not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but ultimately,
But the church,
I would like
on its burning down, signed over itself to the society.
Okay.
So even in your investigation, because you got it looked on paper initially, but because of the way you investigated, it looked as if the church stopped and the society continued.
Mm-hmm.
But because you rolled well and you went back in, you have discovered that the society actually still existed, and they're the ones who got the 100-year lease.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the general public are concerned, when the church stopped, it stopped. But on paper, initially, it looks as if the church stopped and then hand became the society. But you've just discovered that the society has been running in tandem with the church, and that's the one involved with the lease. And up until the sale of the property, it's the society that had that lease.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I think we should probably just go investigate and see if there's any names we can get of people who were victims in that original burning of the church. Because that's going to be, a possible tangential clue that we could sort of follow up on. I guess my next, what's it?
the only thing is I don't want to go to the client until we have a little bit more evidence. I don't think it's bad to ask him those questions. I would just like to make sure we could dig anything else up beforehand. We have a fire that's associated to the reason why the society for some reason was able to sell a property that they had a 100-year lease on close to 40 years early. And also there's nothing about the society. I don't know anything about the society. How do we find this information about the society?
We know that they are into legacy protection, and Corbett wanted to exist in his home. So in my mind, it makes sense that he was involved in the society. He wanted to continue through death somehow, and that's why they sort of took over his property upon death. Maybe he signed it over to them or something like that.
But didn't it say
Are you in the same room?
It's 1966.
Rob, is Rob's in the same room with Gerald?
Yeah, we were doing.
I stayed with it the whole time.
Rob, do you want to do a library roll as well? Just saying you're maybe investigating another aspect of this.
Okay. All right. I got a 75. My library is only 60.
Yeah, you kind of look, but you're not really seeing anything. One thing you do try and look for is to see if the church was sold itself, but you're not finding any information if the church was sold to anybody
After it burned down.
So you haven't seen any evidence of the land of the church being sold for any reason. So by you not finding that evidence to see what happened there, strongly suggests that the church is still in the society's hands.
Mm-hmm. So is that property, the land itself, near Corbett's home?
It's all in the same neighborhood.
Okay.
That's
So-
strange, though, because we called the operator, and the operator had no mention of the property. It should still be under the same listing, even if the owner doesn't exist or is.
Well, you asked for the Church of Contemplation as an organization. There's no listing for
I asked
that.
for the address. Asked for all the information. Any information said there's no information on it. So I was like, okay.
Okay, so remember what I said was after the church burned down, it was transferred to the Contemplation Society.
Right.
So I should ask the question
the
about
actual
the society
Church of
itself.
Contemplation after 1912 officially no longer exists.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
So it's semantics. We got to ask about that society, or
Come
we
on,
need
you're dealing with operators and civil servants.
or we need to ask
I
about the actual.
I
weapons.
agree, but their databases aren't updated every year.
Don't forget as well, guys. What you're not told is just as important as what you are, and sometimes what you can't find is just as important as what you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's fine.
I mean, the phone is here, so it's in this building. So I'm just going to go out to the phone and dial up the operator.
Okay. Hello, operator.
Hello, dear. Do you have any references, any notions for a Reverend Michael Thomas or a Michael Thomas Contemplation Society, anything like that?
Just 1 second.
Thank you, my dear.
Nothing for Michael Thomas. I have Contemplation Society, and she gives you the church address.
Interesting.
That's all I have, I'm afraid.
And there's no number listed.
No, strange enough, just the address. Saying of no phone. I'm sorry, sir. No, I can't. That's all I have. Just Contemplation Society, blah blah blah, zip code, which you know is the church address.
Yeah.
That's all I have, sir.
I mark it all down. You know, you've got a wonderful voice for this sort of thing.
Well,
What
thank
is
you
your
very
name?
much. My name is Susan.
Well, my name is Gerald, and it's been such a wonderful time speaking with you. Are you always on at this hour? Is there something I can call back and perhaps speak with you again?
Right. Let's go get a charm roll for that.
I'm waiting for Derek to be like, "Stop it, man! Already, we're in the middle of an
Go ahead.
investigation."
Hey, you
my
could have a
charm
double
is
dinner.
40
You could have a dinner in 2 different restaurants at the same time.
Oh dear, scandal. Right.
I have a 40 total, and I rolled a 37.
There's some. Sir, that's very kind of you. I'm a married woman. But of course, I'm always here to help. In a
But if it
professional
ever doesn't work
capacity, of
out.
course.
Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna politely, get off the phone from her and
I should,
tell her.
rather than her slamming down or cutting you off, calling you a pervert.
Yeah, I rolled good. All right. In either case, I come back and I'm like, yeah, it's the church address. We know the area. So, as soon as we're ready to go investigate the home, we could check the church out first.
All right. Quick question out of character. I'm going to do a bio break. Be right back.
Well, hold on. We've been going an hour 40 minutes. Just want to take a break anyway.
Yeah, let's do that. I could go. I've been drinking a lot of tea.
Yeah, same here actually. Funny enough. Right. Okay. We shall take a break now, folks, and then 5 minutes, and then come back, and we shall carry on. Things are getting interesting.
Yeah. Be right back.
And we are back, suitably relieved, and all our investigators' juices are just churning away and brewing, and
Don't talk about my juices.
my stream, I'll talk about whoever's juices I want. Thank you. They're my juices now.
All right.
Yes, we're going there. Why not?
Oh, man. A messy room behind me.
Right, fellas. So, how are we getting on?
So is this about body horror that we're talking about? Sorry.
Could be. It would be. Here. Could be enough to get us banned.
So we have a couple of choices, right? We can go to the police station. We can go down and actually investigate the properties themselves. What do you want to?
Yeah, so you're in the early evening, so any official sort of records offices would be closed. I would say like 24-hour. So things like police stations and that might be a bit tricky unless you happen to know somebody or have a contact to get in after hours. Like most office-based stuff is 9 to 5. Places like the press office all run 24 hours, but at the same time, the extra help we'll have on board may not be receptive, so you have to do a wee bit of skill. But things like the libraries and all will be closed. I
think before we go to the police office, maybe we should check out the property before it starts to. I mean, we've talked about it. Maybe we should go do a walk through the property and then check out the church property. It's always best to do it at night, I hear.
I have to tell you, if any of this is true, I'm very excited. We could run into some sort of specter or some sort of remnant ectoplasm, or maybe a demon summoned by the Contemplation Society, or perhaps just someone sitting around contemplating. It's a very exciting notion.
Let's not get too excited. I mean, so far we don't have any evidence of anything. So let's.
You have plenty of threads, so there's definitely a story forming here, and you're starting to notice that there's the front-facing, what's put out for the general public on a cursory glance, but you're starting to realize that there's something definitely going on in the background, and possibly Mr. Not in his innocence, or maybe not innocent, has
not innocent.
Opened a certain can of worms, but whether it's by his own design or not, that's to be told. But there's definitely a story behind the facade, the official story. You're definitely starting to see that.
Rob, what do you think? Is it possible that Not is tied up with the Contemplation Society?
It's possible. He might be a member, he might not be. But before we start asking questions to him directly or trying to link him to them, let's do a little bit more research. Maybe we can find something, or maybe find someone who is associated that can give us some inside information.
Right. I just fear that if he's trying to... Well, why would he come to us if he's part of a secret society?
Well,
to investigate the property?
If he didn't tell us, because we asked him about the previous owners and he didn't know really, right? So he's not going to be forthcoming. What does that mean if we go talk to him about something unless we have some evidence showing someone that knows him in there? I don't want to expect I don't want to expect that he's he's trying to hoodwink us, but I'm pretty sure that I just want to make sure we know more information before we go to him. Let's wait until at least tomorrow morning before we contact him, and let's see what we can find tonight, and then we'll reach out to him with more questions, because I'm concerned that if we go to him too early and something's not up and up, we're going to lose information.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're talking while we're walking toward the property. Yeah. If it's too far away, then we can hail a taxi of some sort of carriage.
Tram lines, and obviously, you've got your expenses. That's the whole point of expenses. So unless you're planning to make an absolutely crazy purchase, I am going along the lines of you're not destitute.
Yeah.
As long as you're not getting chauffeur-driven limos everywhere, ripping the bag out of it.
Yeah.
If you need to get a cab somewhere, you'll know to get a cab. If you're getting on the tram lines, you're seasoned investigators at this point, and you know the city.
Yeah. So I like Chris's theory. Maybe it's syphilis that's causing the dementia, and that's why that couple See, the guy was stepping out on his girl, got syphilis, brought it home to his girl. She went crazy too. We need to check out that.
That's the whole theory behind. So, go off a wee bit of a tangent. That's the whole theory behind Jack the Ripper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Prince Edward had syphilis and was visiting girls in the night, and
Sneaky.
obviously to prevent the scandal because he's passing on. Hence the Jack the Ripper character. That's one of the.
Watch From Hell. Watch the movie Johnny Depp did From Hell.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so we're headed down there. Just let us know when there and what we see. Do you want to go to the church first? Or you want to go to the property first?
Let's go to the property first.
Okay, and we have the key, so let's do this.
So, going to the Corbett house.
Yeah.
Okay then.
What time is it?
Say again?
What time is it? Are we going there? Like, is
you're early.
dark?
So you're about 7 p.m. Dusk. You know, it's starting to get. Let's say it's sort of end of summer.
Suitably creepy time.
Yeah, it's just getting the.
So what
where the veil between the light and the dark is at its thinnest. I want to get one of them with fax boxes, but the problem is my podcast will just descend into chaos if I get one of those.
Yeah.
They're the ones that you press, you can do special effects and stuff, and this place would never be the same. I'd just be on here for like 6 hours to be a good making absolutely no sense.
Start having conversations just with the sound effects.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know me too well. You know where it will go.
So the image that's in roll 20 right now, is that the Corbett house?
That's yes. Hang on.
It's just like right on the tabletop. Yeah.
Yep. So that's the front door to the Corbett house.
I love the eyeball in the front on the just over the eave. Yeah. That doesn't say anything. Seemed like nefarious.
Yeah, knowing that I have a sort of a backstory interest in the church that turned into the society, would I know that symbol at all that we see above the door?
Not really. Yeah, you've had it, but you only know while you've had an interest, you've had a suspicion. So you know about the story, but because the church itself was burnt down, and you find it very strange where it should have been all over the media. Should have been all the papers, should have been front page. It wasn't. It was strangely quiet. It was like page 9 in like 2 columns. And that's what first piqued your interest.
Okay.
And strangely enough, you've not tried to go like proper investigating, but you've looked at other newspapers, and strange enough, it's been very quiet, and it's always piqued your interest. You can find really no literature, because you know a lot of churches as well can print their own Bibles and have tracts. You find none of that, and for such an old church as well, it's strange at how in the city and not in the suburbs that nobody knows about it at all.
Which feeds
this should have been news. Yeah, this should have been news, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
That's basically why you've had a piqued interest, and you've always been waiting for the opportunity ever since for it to come up again, even in conversation, so that you can delve into it.
Okay. All right. Well, we are at the house.
Okay, dokie then.
When we get to the house, the one thing I want to do is I want to actually look at the. When we get to the house, I do want to. Before we go in, I kind of want to scan the street and like look around the area and see kind of like what the neighborhood looks like. And do I notice? I mean, it is 7 o'clock, so lights should be turning on for people who are home. But you said there was no homes around this house. It's mostly businesses, right?
Mm-hmm. Mostly businesses. You do see a like a newspaper and cigar shop. That's about 3 doors up. The lights are still on. You don't see anybody in and out, but the lights are still on, so it's probably closed about 9 o'clock or so. So these are just at the moment. Sorry, I'm trying to find the characters.
Is this like a industrial district? Is this like a
Yeah, it's
residential?
when you look about the neighborhood. So we'll just put this here for now. You're just outside the front door. You haven't got in yet, because you may or may not decide to. But you're just here, and you've had a look around the neighborhood, and you see that it's mainly businesses now. This is actually the last residential property on this street, and you kind of see, yeah, it's been well maintained because obviously Mr. Knott's done it up, so the front lawn and all's maintained, the fences are secure, so it's not like run down or dingy or anything. You can kind of tell that because some of the fascia boards, the drainage boards, that they've been replaced, so it doesn't quite match in. So you know that it's possibly been in disrepair and then fixed up. Because you've done investigation properties all before, so you kind of notice that, yeah, it's not quite. It hasn't been maintained all its life, but you can tell it's been sort of done up for the moment. But you look around, and what you see are there's businesses, there's offices, there's like warehouses. So you can kind of see like a haulage company across the street, smaller sort of things, delivery places, warehouse. But you do see this cigar shop outside. Says let's see if I can remember his name. Wilmot's? No, not Wilmot's. Oh my god. I do apologize. Dooley's and Cigars and News.
And news?
And News, yeah. Because there's a newspaper rack just outside with the open side and the other.
All right. Well, what do you think,
That's
Rob?
it.
Should we go in?
I think there's no better time than the present. Just looking at the facade of the house, I'm basically going, I might want to talk to Mr. Knott about renting this place. Make a good summer home. And I just look over and smile.
I'm gonna walk over to the window that appears to be just south here, right here, and look
Okay.
in. Can I see anything?
You can move your
Okay.
move your tokens.
So I'm gonna move over here and just look in that window, see if I can see anything.
Give me a spot hidden.
Spot hidden is 50, and I roll a 31.
31. Okay. So you see the curtains are drawn, but they're just kind of, you see one of them snagged on the bottom left hand side, and strangely enough, it's a nail. So you actually you look and see at the bottom of the curtain, there's actually a nail driven through the frame of the window to basically shut it from the inside. And the curtain, because this one wasn't driven through quite fully, the curtain's kind of snagged on it, and you happen to notice that. So when you look along the bottom, you see nails evenly put across the bottom of the window pane to not let them be open.
Right. So I motion over to Rob like that, and then I just try to hear. Can I hear anything going on inside?
Nothing. It's dead silent.
And it's dark inside, right?
Oh yeah, dark.
All right, I'm gonna walk the perimeter. That's weird to me. I don't want to like walk into like some sort of weird ritual thing, or I don't know what this society is all about. So I'm gonna walk over to Rob. The strangest thing, they have nails driven into the windows from the inside to prevent them from being opened. I suspect there's something nefarious about this. Mr. Knott didn't mention anything about them boarding up that place, did he?
Not that I recall.
I don't think they're getting their deposit back. Strange behavior.
Yeah,
he
well,
never
you said they went crazy.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
did get institutionalized, so maybe they, just out of their craziness, were worried about someone breaking in. So
just from our investigators' history, should we both go in the same door? Should we try different entrances? What do you think?
Well, why don't we walk around the house first? Let's look and see if there's anything strange we see on the outside, and then we can come back, meet right back here on the front door, and go inside at that point.
Very good. So I'm going to motion you toward the north there. I'm assuming up is north and down is south. I'm going to go down south in this area and go down to this second window here as he's investigating his side.
Right. Obviously, I'll not make you roll again because you know what you're looking for. You notice again, and maybe give the window a bit of a rattle.
Well, if I see the nails in it, then I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, but don't forget there's curtains as well.
Right.
So these curtains, even though they're a bit neater, the reason you caught that first one is because one nail wasn't driven in fully.
Gotcha.
And it snagged on the curtain.
Okay. I mean, we have a key to the front door, so I'm not trying to break in or anything.
No, but it's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
That they would do that. So you kind of notice, you give the window a bit of a rattle, and it's not, when you rattle, one of the old school windows that have the catch, and you can give it it has a bit of give, and the catch stops it. But this is solidly closed. It will not budge, so it's letting you know that it's been nailed as well.
Right. All right.
I mean, this thing will not budge. It's solid to the bottom. Normally, in those windows, there's a bit of give till it hits the catch, but this is solid, not moving, so it's been nailed too.
So is that going to be the same case for the rest of these windows?
Yeah, we'll go into some. Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to see what Rob does? I'm just going to continue investigating these windows and seeing if I can open them while he's doing his thing.
Yeah. So Rob, if you move your token as well, and then when you hit a certain
I
point,
can't move it. I can't even select it.
Can you not?
Oh yeah, you have to assign it to me. I think under my player.
I could have sworn I had.
You can right click on the token usually and you can assign to which player you want to. Because right now it just doesn't let me select anything.
Right.
I'm still on tokens. Make sure. I'm only on tokens because I can only see tokens.
Represents. Oh, sorry. My apologies. Try now.
There we go. Yeah, I got
it. gotta love lessons in technicalities. Not only is this a really fun role-playing game so far, but we're actually learning about the Roll20 system from a complete novice. For disclosure, it's my first time running a game on this system, so there we go. We're discovering things as we go along. So anyone else thinking about having to go at this, these are all little bits you have to take into consideration, but don't be afraid to. You can do it without actually reading the game.
For sure.
You're doing a great job, so don't worry about it. You're doing a great job.
And these are fantastic players. This is honestly a lot of fun. Really
I'm middling at best, but I'll take the compliment. All right.
So I'm just doing my search of the perimeter.
Yeah, and because you've had the conversation, you're seeing the same thing. The windows are once again they're nailed shut. There's no give in them. Normally with a window you'd expect some, but for some reason they've all been nailed shut from the inside.
Do I see windows on the bottom floor? Because right here on the screenshot I'm looking at, it looks like the windows are on the top floor. Is that right? Or am I?
Yeah, but it's because it's split into 3 floors.
Okay.
Obviously, so you can walk around and you'll see windows as well. No, it's a normal ground floor thing. But curtains are all up, so you can't see inside.
Okay. What about this door here?
You find that it's locked. Sorry, that's what I'm kind of looking for here. There's another. Just make sure. Yeah, so they're all locked. You don't see the doors haven't been nailed shut, just the windows.
Okay.
I mean, you have
they're
a
obviously
key, right?
locked. You can go in the front door back. You've been given both keys.
I'm not going to go in unless I have my partner
At the
with
back
me.
of the house there, you notice there's a coal. Sorry, where you were at the back of the house, Rob.
Mhm.
You notice that there's a coal chute. Yeah, just about there. You notice there's a coal chute. It's also been nailed shut.
When you say that, it looks like, is it a a shed that's separate from
Do you know?
the house?
Do you know one
Or
of
is it like
the open doors that lead down into the cellar basement?
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, so it's a
Yeah,
cold
the
store.
chute.
It's a
So
cellar door. Okay.
yeah, it leads down into the cellar. So it's a cold. So basically, what you do is you open the doors and you pour the bags of coal down the chute.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those, but you notice that's also been nailed shut, and there's a
Okay.
padlock on the outside.
All right.
They're
So
It's been
environmental.
doubly, for some reason, it's been doubly secured.
All right. I'll
Because
note
when you
that.
test it, you know, like I said, if you go to pull the doors and it stops at the padlock, it'll be a bit gap. There's none, so the nails have actually been driven through the beams from the inside. So there's absolutely no give in this door. And from what you know of the windows, it's a bit odd.
Huh. Well, I return back over to Adam's character and Gerald and say, so I guess there's they nailed the coal chute solid in the back of the house, and there's a side door that's locked. I didn't want to open it unless I had you with me. I want a second set of eyes before we go in this building.
Yeah, all the windows have been nailed shut, as it seems. I think we might need to be a little more precautious. Do you want to do the duty of opening the doors? And I pull out my little pistol, and I'll cover you. We don't know what we're going to find, and I want to be ready.
And so I look at you with the pistol, and I'm like, you really think someone's going to be inside there?
All I know is this is very unusual, and I'd rather be prepared than not.
Well, don't put any holes in me, please. I unlock the door, and I kind of like
best.
I open the door, and as it opens up, I kind of like
We hear porno music pumping through the floors. Like, oh, yes, jackpot.
Oh my gosh.
It'll be fine. What could possibly happen?
And it's all from like a what are those called? The radio phones or the stereo?
The gramophones?
Gramophones, yeah.
Yeah, the gramophones with special. Yeah.
Someone did porno music with that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I take a step in, and I just
You feel a breeze on the.
do I have a flashlight on me? Kind of raise my collar.
Mm. Sorry,
I pull out my flashlight.
You're first in, Rob?
Yeah, first in, and I pull out my flashlight.
Give me a Cthulhu Mythos roll, please.
Oh shit! Cthulhu's sitting there like George Costanza on a couch.
So, what is a Cthulhu Mythos roll? Because I don't know what that is.
So you've got a score. I think you got because of your previous experience, and you got a score of 10 or something. You got an extra few points.
Okay, so my Cthulhu Mythos shows 0.
No, you should have.
Yeah, mine's 0 too.
0. Is there not a minimum score of 10? No, you got an extra 5 points. Whoever built your character.
All
of them should be a minimum of
10.
10.
Okay.
Really?
But you should have. Hang on. Could none less save. So just let me look at your character sheet.
I just added a 10 to it. I mean, if that's what you wanted me to do. It was at 0, though.
Magic point. Oh, did I give you an extra? Do you remember when we created it?
Yeah, I don't recall adding anything to it.
Yeah, Rob did because of his experience on the Malay with the ghostly entity. So he got 10.
Okay, so I got 10.
Just on the off chance, maybe probably not, but you feel that sort of as you open the door and it breathes against your neck. So give me a roll, please.
Okay, I raised my collar up against the cold, and
it could just be the fact that you've opened the door. This house, although Mr. Knott has maintained it, it's still an abandoned house.
100.
Whoa!
Yes.
Yeah,
Whoa!
just you just put it down. There's a bit of a breeze, just an old house. It's been left abandoned. Well, very loosely maintained at the moment, but yeah, it's just a breeze. You just felt a wee bit of a shiver. Nothing to it.
Okay.
Okay then. Let's go forward.
Move in. I'm kind of freaking out here.
So you go in, obviously, you see the corridor. You're seeing doors to your left, doors to your right, sort of 3 each. And at the end, you kind of see tapers off. It's a bit darker.
Is there electricity installed in this house?
Yes, so you'll see the sort of black knob with a switch, those old style light switches.
So before I close the door, is there one in this entryway?
The one just in the hallway, yeah.
I'm going to try to flick it.
Yeah, lights come on, because don't forget, this is not, and it's been maintained. Mr. Not wants to sell us, so there's electricity to buy. So lights come on, they're a wee bit of a stutter, but they come on. It's like an amber glow. It's not, you're not like bright illumination, but it is workable. So lights come on. You see them when the lights come on. It's just a normal hallway corridor. There's 3 doors to the left, 3 doors to the right, and at the end you kind of see 2 sets of stairs. So one obviously leading downstairs into the basement, the other upstairs to the, you call it the first floor, but the next.
Yeah.
For the purposes, we're on the ground floor, or first floor. Don't you call it the first floor? You do a weird thing.
I think we go both ground in first.
All right. Well, it's a ground floor anyway, but there's an upstairs. There's a basement.
Yeah. I close the front door, but I do not lock it.
Okay.
I just want to make sure if we have to run, we have an escape route.
Why would you just want to run? It's an empty house. I don't know, man.
Yeah. No. People going insane. Weird cults owning it. Why would we?
You don't know that.
All I know is that society does not sound normal. Having a 100-year lease from a weird group that sprang up after a burned down church. There's something about that.
It could be a conspiracy by the government. It's just might be their fault. They could be perfectly innocent. You're very paranoid.
Or it could be aliens. My guy's a little,
he's a little twitchy.
A little conspiratorial is all. All right, so I'm right. I'm like sort of putting my palm on your shoulder, Rob. I'll follow you just wherever you want to go. I just want to make sure I'm right here and we're safe.
So, just to help me out, obviously you see what you see. I see something different. So if you use your tokens to move to each room, and then we can play it from there.
Okay.
Because we could be going, no left, no you're left, no right, no left, up, down. Right.
I always call things by north, south, east, west on these maps.
Mm-hmm.
So real quick, my character is going to hold. He has his flashlight or his torch, whatever. He's holding onto it, even though the lights are on. He still has it on, and he's still kind of like just has it on just because he's using it to like magnify or brighten something. Because the lighting, I'm assuming, is not the greatest.
It's not fantastic. It's like a dim, or it's enough to see by, but it's not brilliant.
Mm.
Okay. So if you're trying to pick out details, obviously. The torch will help.
Okay. So as I keep my torch out, I'm going to go ahead and go into this room to the south where my character's kind of like going through the door. And I'm just going to peer in, not going all the way in, but just like look through the doorway. And now, and the other question before we go forward, are all the doors closed or opened in this hallway?
They're all closed. It's they're just closed over. They're not locked or anything. The strange thing about the windows, no, all the doors are open, but they're just obviously closed over. So just like a normal house, people, save heat and noise. They're not everything's lying wide open. It's just normal. Okay. So so you're looking at the living room, and it's just a conventional living room. It just contains, furnishings. You see a radio. There's a couch. There's chairs. There's shelves. With some ornaments and stuff. Strange. There's a lot of crosses in this room. Like they're everywhere. Like all the wall space is filled with crosses. And there's not just your standard, wooden cross, like Protestant cross. There's also Catholic crosses as well that actually have the image of, the depiction of Christ. The way the Catholics do it differently. Mm-hmm. They have the actual image of Christ on the cross. So you've got those as well. A lot of Virgin Marys as well, like dotted about the floor in front of the walls.
religious nut jobs, it seems.
Are you going to investigate?
Sure. Just checking everything over, seeing what we spot, anything that jumps out.
You hear a thump
What?
coming from upstairs.
Did you hear that?
So it's like,
I did. I raised the flashlight up to the ceiling.
can you hear that?
And
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear just a thump.
okay.
I say we go upstairs.
Nothing
Sounds
else.
good. I'll hold the. I kind of lead the way with the flashlight, but I'm saying, have your pistol ready.
I'm here.
Just kind of like, I walk. So tell me if I need to stop for some reason. I'm just gonna take little steps.
I'm getting butterflies in my stomach. I feel like I need a poop, but I know they probably don't have indoor plumbing.
Well, I'll make sure we tell Mario next time not to give us what he gave us. And I started going up the stairs slowly.
So you're just
I
going
have the flashlight, aim upstairs. Yep. Is it dark upstairs or lit up?
It's lit up.
Interesting.
Get
Keep going upstairs.
Get.
I'm assuming.
What?
Is it this?
Did we hear that? Did you hear that?
No, what was
I heard
that?
a voice. I heard a voice saying "get out" or something, or "get some." It was either "get out" or "get some." It's either a welcoming or an aversion. But I swear to you, on my mother, that I heard something. Did you hear it?
Okay.
Am I the only
Did
one?
I hear that? Because I didn't understand what it said.
That was it. You know, maybe might have heard something.
I don't. I think it's your imagination. I could have sworn. I thought you were breathing or something. I don't know.
I tell you what, if I end up soiling these britches, I'm going to charge Mr. Nuts for them.
You know what? He has enough money. He can afford it.
Did you hear that? There was clearly another, like a slap or a stomp or something.
Yeah,
I got a
think
bad
I
feeling
heard
about
something.
this.
I go over to this door first. Oh, great! The bad music starts. So is that just theming, or do we actually hear that?
Do you? I don't know.
The music.
I hear it. I hear something. It's really loud.
You can change the, yeah, just a little bit. Okay.
So, it's technically a bit of an atmosphere, I think.
Say, Rob, what do you see? What's in there?
I open the door and slowly, and put my flashlight in just a little bit. What do I see in this room?
That's a wee bit.
I slowly open
really
the
loud.
door.
I can't control on the
You can
browser.
control it under your settings. So each person controls it differently. Then you go to the your master music's volume settings. You can lower it
All right, that's a bit.
under audio and video.
Oh,
So if it's too loud for you, you can always drop it.
Yeah, it's kind of making me. It's difficult to shout.
It's really just me freaking out is all. Rob's like totally normal, having a good day.
It's just like it's just another day at the office.
Oh shit.
It's probably teenagers.
All these thumps. I hope they're not up here smoking marijuana cigarettes. Ruin their home life. The gateway drugs to opium dens.
Oh, yeah.
God.
There's
Sorry,
certain
guys,
things I want to say, but I'm not going to say it. So, all right. So, I open the door and just what do I see inside this small room?
Hang on a second, I've lost my wee thing because I was playing about the audio. Right. So you're just in that one? Okay. God, these are flat about the place.
Yeah,
So,
Chris, opium den.
Spare bedroom. So the room contains a bed frame, just bare bed frame. There's no mattress on it. There's a dresser beside it. Looks unused. You haven't looked anywhere else yet, but it's not really anything.
Does the room have like any like is there a layer of dust on anything? Like this room has not been in, no one's been in here for a long time? Or is it more like
you get in to look?
Yeah, I'm gonna open the door all the way so the door goes all the way to the wall. So that way there's no way there's someone hiding behind it. And I kind of just step in.
And you go more.
I just go inside the room, and I'm just like looking at the whole room.
Shut.
What?
Door slammed shut behind you.
But I didn't walk
does this
away.
slam in front of my face?
Cord behind you. Like near catches Gerald in the face with such force.
If you didn't want me in there, you could have just said to wait outside.
Get out!
I didn't close the door.
Did you yell that? Did you hear that?
Get out!
Who wants us to get out?
The room starts to shake. You feel the vibrations
I reach for the doorknob and try to open the door.
Locks.
Wait. So I'm going to use the key for the house and see if it
Out.
Yes, we're trying to leave, sir. Good.
Blood starts dripping from the ceiling at the top inside the room.
I take the torch, the blood into the torch, and I start slamming it into the door, trying to break a hole in the door.
Is that you, Rob?
Nothing's having any effect.
Yes, it's me trying to get out. Are there any windows in this room?
There's a window basically straight across the room.
So I go straight across the room.
Give me a spot hidden.
It's a secret window to a secret garden.
It's a secret to everyone. Do I get a special sword? Ah, darn it. 69. Again.
Hey, party in that room.
Now we know what this room was used for.
That's why they want you out. You're walking in on them.
You feel a gust of wind, and just as you reach the window, you feel this force slam into you as the bed lifts up and throws itself at full force into your body.
Okay, can I try to get out of the way?
No, because you didn't get your dodge roll. You exit via the window, smashing the glass, and you roll down the veranda onto the garden.
Do I take any damage?
Yeah, 1d6, please. And once we've resolved that, we might need to do a reroll.
Yes, as I'm hearing all of that commotion happening, I'm like trying to open the door actively.
For some reason, like this is not a normal door. It was sealed completely shut, like no give. It's like someone was holding it from the other side with such strength.
Right.
So where do
So
I
you
note
take
my
3
damage?
points of damage.
Do I on this character sheet? I see major wounds 7, but I don't have a place to put the note for how much I've taken.
You just reduce it. I think there's
a slash in front of hit points.
Yeah, so you just reduce.
Yeah.
So,
at the very top middle of your sheet, there should be.
So I
hit
think you're
points.
down to.
I'll do it that way then. That's fine.
Yeah, you just take it off.
So 7.
So your hit points, you're 14. So what's you down to?
Oh, is that 14?
Down to 9 now?
You mean on your token? I see what you're saying.
Right, no, you did the character sheet. I think.
Okay, so the door is not opening at all, then, right?
As soon as that happened, the door just releases and flies open.
So I heard all of that commotion inside. I open the door. I see the windows busted out. I see the door.
You see a bed line up against the window, and you see nothing else.
So I'm shouting, Rob, where are you?
Rob, you have effectively seen blood dripping from the walls and a bed become animate and bash into your back and throw you out the wall. So give me a little sanity roll, please.
Sanity rolls at a percentile?
Yep.
5%.
Nice.
You're just like, what the hell was that? And you're hurt. You've got a few scrapes. Luckily, you haven't broken anything because you landed on the grass and hitting the sort of brand a bit, broke your fall a bit. You're definitely hurting. You know, the wind's been knocked out of you, and you're more perplexed than anything else that this happened.
Does he hear me shouting for him?
Yeah, well, he's just you're initially stunned, but obviously this all happens in mere seconds. So you're straight out the window, shouting out.
Oh no, I do not go in that room.
Oh, I thought you were running in.
I just opened the door. You said it opened up, and so it opened. I saw everything, and now I'm shouting, trying to figure out where the hell Rob.
All right, so yeah, Rob, when you kind of shake yourself, you can hear Gerald's voice, you know, kind of shouting.
Where are you?
I'm outside.
What the bloody hell are you doing outside? Why would the door
I
open?
must have tripped.
You must have.
I don't know
tripped
what happened.
through the window. Look, I don't want to go in the room. All right, I heard a lot of noises. I heard some voices. I'm kind of freaked out at this point, and I'm alone in here. Could you come in?
Do I still have my torch?
No.
So it's in the bedroom
allowed it on.
upstairs?
The torches aren't as we're just robust back then, so you see it kind of lying beside you. The bulb and the front's broken.
Great. My dad always said, keep light bulbs by the gross. Should have listened to him.
Good advice.
So I guess I walk back to the front of the house.
Right.
So I'm going to be standing at the landing here. So
Okay, just as you hit the top of the stairs, the lights go out.
Shit! The lights are out! Rob, can you hear me? Where are you? Hit this. Is there a switch on the wall? I'm like feeling on the walls.
Not at that part. You're not. It's just complete black darkness.
All right, so I'm going to reach into my bag. So you have been mentioning torches, but are there not flashlights?
Well,
That's what they call flashlights.
Yeah, sorry, that's stuff.
Okay. So I'm going
see
to
if I can-
pull out my flashlight and.
Oh, you're thinking. You're thinking.
Yeah,
like
when you're saying
Conan
torches, I'm thinking Dungeons and Dragons.
No,
It's like-
something like that. No.
Okay.
Flashlights. So.
And when you're like, they're not made like they used to be made. I was like, a torch? All right.
It's a little wick inside
Yeah.
the front, and you light it.
It's like a candle. All right. Okay, so I pull out my flashlight and I'm shining it down the hall in this direction.
So, are you going down the stairs?
No, I'm at the landing, that sort of corner right here where I am.
Right.
So there's still some stairs up and there's still some stairs down, but I'm just sort
Well,
of
you're in
flashing down the hall.
No, you haven't gone down the stairs yet, have you?
No, I'm just, well,
You're-
it looks like
You're,
there's a
yeah, you're on
landing
the
here.
second floor. You're just at the top of the stairs.
Yeah. Just where my
Okay.
character is, that's where I am.
Yep. So, I need a dexterity roll if you're going to go down the stairs.
Oh my gosh. So I want to be clear. I went to the corner here.
Yes.
And I've not moved from there, so I can.
Okay, so you're at the top, basically the corner, top of the. There's only you're in the upper floor. There's only the stairs going down,
Mhm.
and just as you hit the stairs, the lights went out.
Okay.
So I'll need a dexterity roll.
Dexterity is 50, and I roll a. What did I roll? 26.
Cool. So because you have your flashlight, even because these stairs, funnily enough, for a family home, aren't very user friendly. You kind of notice
I mean, it's
that
like
they're
20s. I assume nothing.
uneven. They're funny angles.
Yeah.
So it's not an even. So you, it's only highlighted more the fact that the lights are out, and you're kind of having to steady yourself against the wall and feel for each step.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right. You know, if you any other time you'd have hurt yourself going down them, trying to do it in the dark, but you managed to just inch your way down, taking it easy, obviously using the flashlight, and get yourself down to the bottom.
Well, I only wanted to go to this corner part where I can see down to the first floor, right down to here, and I could still see up into the hall up here.
Right.
So I'm just waiting for Rob because I know I closed the door, but I didn't lock it. And so I'm just waiting for him to come back.
Okay. So I'm like
Rob,
brushing
just you're
myself
obviously
off.
doing this in the dark.
Are there light switches right here at the door?
There are.
Okay, I just start flicking them to see if they turn on.
A couple of seconds, and then lights come back on again.
Okay.
Was that you, Rob?
But
I just turned on the
it's
lights.
not as bright. You notice that it's not as there's like they've almost gone dimmer. Like you're not getting the light you had before, and the light before wasn't great, but there's definitely more shadows being cast now than before.
Must have hit my head.
Where are you, old boy?
I'm coming. I'm just limping a little bit because I, just fell out of a second-story window.
Fell off that fucking building.
You're lucky, boy.
So
Next time you want to go building diving, perhaps not in the middle of the night in a scary-ass house.
something threw the bed at me, and I was pushed out the window. That's all I can tell you. I don't know. I didn't see anyone in the room, though. And did you
This
see
looks
anyone in the room?
terrifying. I didn't see anyone, but maybe you should go first,
It's like
seeing as you have experience.
I just step forward, and like I'm freaking out. I'm
Colin, can
visibly
you move the
shaken.
map down? Because like the audience is not seeing where we
Oh,
are.
right. Deeps apologies for that. Right. So user.
There you go.
There we go.
Sorry,
Sorry, we had this before we went live. I'm using different accounts because I don't want to see what I see or you guys are in it.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, so
I'm
yeah, adjusting
Rob,
my
sorry, I
one in
interrupted
front
you.
of me. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Other people might want to see too.
I go to this doorway right here, and I look in again.
I don't think we should go in there again. They
do we
seemed pretty clear not wanting us.
I understand, but I'm just looking to see if there's anyone in there because I can't imagine that bed flying across the room on its own.
So when you look in, you see like the bed's just completely, it's upended, land across the window frame where you fell out. There's not really much else happening. If you look at the walls, the blood's gone.
Huh. I could have sworn there was red on the walls.
I didn't see any red. Where was the red?
It was just on the walls. That's what I saw before I was knocked out the window. Maybe my head. I don't know. Maybe I have some form of concussion.
So I want to turn him and have the flashlight sort of next to his face. I'm like, would you just bear with me for a moment? Follow my finger. And I'm like sort of flashing the light in his eyes if he goes along with it, trying to see if his pupils are dilating, if everything seems to be okay in his head. Because I'm at the point where I'm starting to think, yeah, I heard some crazy stuff, but he clearly jumped out the window. So maybe there's something wrong.
So he's dazed, from falling out a window, but like not a major concussion or anything.
And so, like, do you have any pain in your neck, in your head? Is there anything broken? I mean, you took a tumble there.
I have a pain in my ass right now, but
My name is Gerald.
I'm a person too.
I'm not just a pain in the ass. Yeah. So,
I answer. I'm sore. I don't know. How do I feel, Colin? Like injury wise, I've taken.
You feel as if you're just falling out of a window, and
I feel exactly like it would feel like to fall out of a window.
Yeah, but I'm saying like there's no like broken bones. There's no.
Okay, enough. You landed on a nice soft patch of ground, so nothing got broken. But you're you know what I mean. You're gonna feel it in the morning for definite. But you're lucky enough you landed flat in your back and not like cracked your head or anything. But you're, poof, wind has been knocked out of you. You're a bit stunned from it, but you're, as you're up now and walking about, you still got the adrenaline. The adrenaline's kind of jumped up from that. Have you ever been punched in the face?
Yes.
Yeah, it's, that initial when you've been punched in the face, but the adrenaline, you don't feel it now. It's starting to wear down a bit, so you're feeling a bit sore.
Gotcha. Okay. So, all right. So I just, I'm fine. I thought I saw something, but clearly it's not there. So it's just my imagination.
I definitely heard something. I'm starting to understand why those people went insane, just for the strange craziness. But we are investigators. I do tend to be on the suspicious side and wanting to believe in paranormal such and such. But could someone be fucking with us?
It's always possible. Let's check the rest of the rooms out here. Then we can go back downstairs.
All right. Do you want me to go first? I'm hearing sounds.
Yes, you go first.
All right, so I'm going to walk up to this doorway. I'm not going to go in, but if it's open, I'm going to open the doorway all the way and look in.
All right, so there you're seeing it's another bedroom. Looks like a children's room. There's 2 beds in it, 2 single beds.
I'm closing the door immediately. I don't trust children. They're disgusting and creepy. There's definitely some bad juju here, so perhaps I check this door out.
Wait a second. We haven't searched the room? Yes.
I don't want to search the room. It's a children's room. You know there's going to be insanity in there. Dolls talking and such.
Dolls talking?
Don't
Who's
go
the one
out
that
the
got-
window this time, okay? If you insist on going in, I'll go in with you if you're going to go in. I don't like this.
I open the door and I start to go in, but this time I keep my hand on the door and my foot firmly placed in front of the door, and I kind of like keep my other foot firmly braced. So when I open the door and step inside, it's gonna have to fight me to push to close the door.
I think that's going to be a problem.
You feel a slight breeze.
What is
Sorry,
that?
it's the pasta talking back to me.
Maybe you should take a few steps back.
No, I'm really freaking out here. Okay, so we don't see anything inside.
No, nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay, so I say, hold this door open. I'm gonna search the room.
You've got it.
There's almost like you'd think you were in a ship. The wood starts creaking, throughout the floor. Hear a.
My character turns pale white.
So should we
We
leave
start to have
then? Are we good
flashbacks.
to leave? We can leave the
Having
room.
Flashbacks to the boat.
Okay, both of you give me another sanity roll. Obviously, it's a bit more than what you
Sanity.
thought.
So I'm showing 70 as sanity. Is that my sanity roll?
Yeah,
That
that's
did?
actually
Okay.
quite decent.
Oh, I'm a real rational person. Oh, sweet fucking hell. I just rolled an 87.
66.
You feel a presence pressing down. It's you know there's something here, and it's targeted on you. And
Rob, I got a bad
what
feeling
you
about
hear?
this.
Get out!
All right.
Out!
Kids don't want us here. Rob, we need to leave the room. I swear to everything that is. If there's a Jesus, he is definitely telling us to leave, so let's leave.
Roll me a D4, please.
A D4. Got it. 3.
3. You lose 3 points of sanity.
Ah! Okay. Jeez.
Do I lose any sanity?
Well, you have to roll. You have to roll your sanity,
I rolled a 66 for my sanity.
and yours is
50.
minus your 10. For your
Minus
Cthulhu
mine by
mythos. Yeah, your Cthulhu mythos.
Oh, minus what by 10? My die roll?
Minus
or
10 from your sanity.
Oh, so that's 40 then.
Yep.
So do I lose sanity then?
Yeah, you've felt this before. This is
Okay.
very familiar.
That's what I'm assuming, but do I need to change anything on my character sheet, or am I good?
I need you to roll a D4 in a second, but you feel this. You felt this. This is. You hear the ocean. You hear
Okay.
the waves.
Okay, I see where this is going.
All of a sudden,
All right.
memories. You're starting to memory. The shadows are just that bit darker now, and you can almost feel as if it's nighttime, and you can see almost as if the shadows are playing like the ocean rolling at night.
All
Roll me
right,
a D4, please.
I got a 1.
1. Okay, so you lose a point.
Okay, so my just for clarity, my sanity is 50 on my
Mhm.
character sheet, but because I have a mythos,
10 in Cthulhu mythos, that
so
drops it down.
that means I have a total of 40. right?
You're 39 now.
39 now. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on my character sheet as a.
Or it's 49. It's 49 on your sanity. But the Cthulhu mythos is a additional factor. So you always take that off. Think of like
So I have a total of 39 then.
You have 49, but you'll always take off that 10.
Okay, so I'm at 39.
Mythos, because you can always get more Cthulhu mythos.
Gotcha.
I'm confused. So the higher you get in Cthulhu mythos, the more it affects your total sanity. Okay.
But you can also add intelligence and a particular skill if it's in a certain environment. So say you were an archaeologist, you happen to be in an Egyptian temple, and you specialized in Egyptian, what's the name?
Hieroglyphs?
Not hieroglyphs. There's a flipping name for it. Not paleontology.
Egyptology?
Just use this as an example. Say specialized in like ancient Egyptian history.
Right.
You could add that in your intelligence to counterbalance your loss of sanity because you kind of know what's.
Can you let us know when we have that ability?
Yeah, at the moment for this scenario, it's not really relevant.
Okay.
But if, say, we're playing another adventure where you're an expert.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that.
So you can maybe see something as a trap because it was built in the ancient times.
Right.
But the more you become, in the natural world, but the more you become familiar with the supernormal and other realms, that's where you realize what it is, and that's what plays on your sanity and makes you lose it quicker. You know something's a spirit, you know something's a demon.
Right.
So ignorance is bliss in this game.
Okay.
But because Rob has had his experience with the shadowy entity, he knows that it's a possibility that something real. Now his experience is confirming that there's possibly another realm. So that's why it takes off his sanity.
Okay.
It's other role playing games. Everything's a multiplayer, but in this, you don't want to find out more.
Right.
That's kind of the whole way it works.
I'm going to turn around and just
run. These are both proper shaken now. Like before, you could just put it down to creaks or pranks or whatever, but now yous are both scared. Mm-hmm. Yous are both verging on terrified. The more you go in now, the worse it's going to get. You roll a d4 now. The next time it'll be a d8 for your loss of sanity.
Okay. Well, I don't need any more rolling.
You might not encounter anything else, but you could encounter more. And in your state, it's like I said, it's just going to be more repercussions. So it's up to you guys what decisions you make from here onwards.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I just this is enough for my character to say I'm done, and he basically is just going to push right past Gerald and run straight downstairs and straight out of the house.
Okay.
Where are you going?
You run down the stairs?
Oh, I'm not just running. I'm just running downstairs.
Okay, I need a dexterity.
To the door.
I need a dexterity roll if you're just going to run down the stairs.
33 out of my total. Dexterity is 60.
Right. Okay. You stumble a bit, but you manage to keep your footing. So thankfully you don't tumble again. But these stairs are not even, as Gerald found out, and you have to be cautious. So just by your fear has actually heightened your ability, and your own training from the army's kicked in of traveling over ground. So your adrenaline, that is just, you've managed to run down the stairs. So you're straight out the door.
Straight out the door.
Don't leave me, Rob.
Same again. If you're going down the stairs, you need to.
So I'm going to the stairs.
Are you running after me? Are you taking your time?
I'm not running. I'm just going to walk after him because I know. I mean, we came up the stairs twice now, so.
Right. So you kind of know what you are. As long as you're not running after him.
Yeah. As soon as I get here, I'm like holding the flashlight down the.
Right. Okay. So you're albeit slower, a bit more cautious because you know what the stairs are like.
Yeah.
If you're going to take a full sprint after him, then I would need you to.
No, yeah, I understand. Rob, where are you? What are you doing?
And I just like go outside and I'm sitting in the middle of the street. Just I sit down in the middle of the street and just feel my face. I'm like, am I on solid ground? Am I awake? Is this a nightmare? I'm like just sitting there just contemplating. Going, did you see it? Did you see it?
I'm gonna walk up behind him and just sort of put my arm on his shoulder as I walk around, and I sort of kneel down. I'm like, "Are you all right? I understand it was creepy, and I was scared as hell too, but running around in a crazy place like that after being thrown out a window is a death sentence, I think. What's going on?"
The room, it changed. I was on a ship. I was at sea.
What?
Shadows became dark. I don't know how I can explain it. There's something about that house. I don't know what it is, but there's something about that house.
Absolutely, there's something strange about that house, but you were not on a ship at sea. Are you talking about your war experience? I don't know how close we are and how much you were willing to share, but do I know that you were in the military?
Yeah, you know that I was in the military.
You've been
but I've
working
never...
together for 2 years.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah, but people keep stuff secret, especially
yeah,
war
but it's
stuff.
So
I've
your
explained-
character have
I've
any
explained
reason to
my
be secretive?
character's history to Gerald, but I haven't told him anything of depth. I don't tell anyone about the shadow. I don't tell
So he
anyone
knows
about that.
about you being in the military. He knows that you've been through the First World War, but this experience is very personal to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you'll have known some bits of it. So when he's talking about being on the ship, you'll have understood he's talking about his time in the Navy.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But you don't know about he's about to, if he decides to reveal what's going on now.
I understand. This is not. You were not on a ship, my man. Do you think we could continue this? Are you finished?
I'm not going back in there. Not tonight.
Look, how about with? I just pull out a little flask. How about a little nip of the bottle? I mean, something to keep you going.
I take it and I just try to see if it'll help calm my nerves.
I certainly don't want you to.
This, obviously, it's all dark now, but you do notice, like, it's only about 8 p.m. You haven't spent that long in the house. The lights on the cigar shop.
Says you who weren't thrown out of the building.
Yeah, it's only 3 doors up. You notice that the cigar shop is still open.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to go to the cigar shop and just sort of relax there?
Yes, that sounds good.
I'm going to go inside the building, flick the lights off to turn the power off, and then lock the door on our way out.
Right. Nothing happens.
Okay, I'm also going to walk around the side of the building before we leave, and I want to look up at the window that he came out of, because I didn't see it on the map, and so I'm trying to sort of do the math of, is that actually where we were, or was there like a distortion of experience inside?
So
that's the window.
Yep, that's the window.
Okay. So it feels off and odd to me, but that entire experience in there felt off and odd.
But the whole house feels off and odd from the very moment you've come up to it.
Yeah, I mean, it
doesn't feel right. You've had that uncomfortable, like the windows being nailed shut from the inside in the center, but the doors are open. And you've had this, like, the minute you even walked around the ground, you had this uncomfortable feeling in the back of your neck. And then even when you're inside, before anything major happened, even the stairs aren't right. Everything's designed to be unwelcoming. It's not a home. You don't get the homely feeling, or even one after. You get that impression that you are not welcome. And you notice that the
voice is telling us to get out was my first
back here still. Yeah. That might have been a hint,
All right, so we're just I'm gonna walk with him as fast or slow as he's willing to go to the cigar shop.
I'm walking.
Right, so the front door, it's got the little bell, goes in. You can, both of you give me either an appearance or credit rating roll, whatever you prefer, as you walk into the shop.
What's a credit rating?
Effectively, it's, do you look as if you're people of means,
Right.
or destitute.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't
we
see an
broke?
Appearance
what?
as well can, because even if
Appearance
you
is
have
in the
a
middle.
physically a poor credit rating, you can.
It's one of your attributes. Appearance is your attribute.
Yeah,
It's in the very, very
spend-
middle.
Oh, I
Yes,
see. Yeah.
And my credit rating is 0.
Right. Gerald, yours is 40.
My appearance is 50, and I'm very disheveled because I rolled a 64. Credit rating. I don't see a credit rating. Do you?
Credit, yeah, yours is 40.
Mine's 0, but my
Is
appearance
that in the
is
skill
50,
list?
and I rolled a 42.
So you look as you don't look as if you've been you don't look as if you've been living on the streets or you've been in a fight or anything. You look as if you've had a bad accident, but you've generally been well kept.
You look like you fell out of a window.
Yeah,
Well,
but it's not something you haven't been like in a street scrap or anything. So you've got cuts and bruises. You look visibly shaken.
like
But,
one does, you know.
As you walk out, the proprietor looks up and he's not sensing trouble. What did Gerald get?
I got a 65 or something like that. 64.
You're looking worse for wear. You're looking as if you're kind of shaken up. The shopkeeper looks up and sort of squints and goes, "Oh, fellas, are you okay there? What happened? Have you been in an accident?"
I'm gonna pull a comb out of my back pocket and like recomb my hair back and like it was just what do you know about the house down the street here?
What you weren't in the Corbett house?
I mean, I don't know if we were in it or not, but we were by it. What do you know about it?
It's you went in at this time. Oh my word! Come on. He hustles around the back, back, and he pulls out 2 stools, please. Like a little wooden stools.
Yeah.
He just brings them around front. John, come on. What happened to you? He knows that you're not vagrants.
Yeah.
Obviously from your peers, but because the way you look as if you've been through something, and he's kind of oh fellas, here. He goes to Rob first with a stool, please sit.
Sit down.
You went to the Corbett house? Have you not heard about that place?
Oh,
Why don't you
I've
tell
heard
us
of
what
it.
you know?
I don't know if it's really my place to, gossip about, but that house is a bad history, especially recently.
What happened
people,
recently?
People generally don't go there. There's. Are you sure you're not hurt?
I think he's fine. A little worse for the wear, but could we get a couple stogies, perhaps?
Yes, certainly. He goes. Anything particular? Sweet, strong.
I prefer
Cuban.
Cubans? We wouldn't have Cubans here. They're illegal.
They are?
Just
I didn't realize sanctions started yet.
a Robusto.
1920s. Yeah, Cuban cigars were actually illegal imports.
How about just a Robusto? Something strong.
Okay. And he goes behind. He goes to the humidor. Quickly selects 2. $2.
$2. So I hand over $2.
Okay. He
Possession.
goes, sticks it in the cash register. Yeah, please. Please. Matches. Obviously, no charge for those. It's perfectly fine to.
I asked him if he has any like a clipper or something. To
Of
take
course,
the hand off.
he has everything. Please use mine. Don't need to. I wouldn't expect you to buy one if you're.
No, I appreciate it.
After that,
So I light my cigar up. What's his name? Does he have a name tag? Is there a plate on the desk?
Well, it's Dooley's. Sam Dooley.
Sam.
You could ask him, of course, if he's the owner. That's.
Do you own this establishment?
Oh yes, I've owned this fine establishment for many years. It's my pride and joy, to be honest. It's
Very good. Could you perhaps tell us what you do know? Local rumors about what's happened of late?
Well, of course, I'm not one to gossip. You know that, obviously, and
Clearly.
no, yeah, of course. Yeah, but that's a strange house. There was it's been lying empty for years, and then about 3 years ago, work man come in. Some guy, he owns all the stuff down in the docks. He's actually quite well known in sort of this because a lot of these people do business down the docks. What's his name? Blot. Not yes. That's him. He massive property. It was a bit strange. We're all some of the guys that come in. You know, of course, I don't gossip, as you know, but I've quite a few warehouses around here, and the gents like to come in for a pack of cigarettes. You know, they do a lot of deliveries back and forth to the docks. He's well known down there. It seemed a bit strange that he's wanting to buy a house. The thought initially he was planning to move in, which for someone of his means is, you know, they're nice houses around here, but it's a bit of a strange place to live. But it turns out he's trying to get out. People are wondering, is that where he wanted to go? It was a bit of a shock because people normally who deal with businesses don't go into rental properties. It's usually not worth their time.
Why do you think he chose it?
I don't know. Like I said, it's a strange house. If anyone was buying that, you'd think they'd turn it into another business. This is it's an industrial district. I'm actually lucky that, you know, even though the neighbourhood went, most of the people that operate and work here, they call in on their lunch breaks or on the way home from work to pick up some of my wares. So I have been very lucky, and it's great to talk to people, and especially people in industry and keeping the city going. It's wonderful folks. I come by every day, but yeah, we didn't think anyone was ever going to live here. It would make sense if you worked in the area, but I had this lovely moved in. The gentleman, Vittorio, he runs a restaurant, but it's just a tram ride basically into the city centre where it is. So,
What's the name of it?
I think it was Vittorio's Pizza Palace.
Right.
I haven't actually been there myself. Italian, it doesn't. I know it's a bit heavy for me. A lot of pasta kind of gives me a bit of constitution, a bit of wind, so I tend to stay away from it.
Right.
But from all intents and purposes, he's happy at his work. Quite busy, but yeah, he would come in here, pick up some wares, and we would chat. And generally a happy person. They lived there only a couple of months, and he would be strange. Like, of course, as you know, I'm not one to gossip. You know, I wouldn't.
Of course not.
Dream talking, but he did start to look more haggard. You know, he was usually well kept, and then he would come in. He wasn't. You know, he wouldn't be shaved, and it just got worse. And then he just stopped coming in. It was all very strange. Next thing I know, he's getting carted away in an ambulance. They come and he's screaming and shouting as even people in the docks, you know, stopped and looked at the houses at the time, or the businesses at the time. You know, it was all very strange. Someone actually, I've never seen somebody getting carted away to an asylum before.
What was he screaming? Anything intelligible?
Nothing intelligible, but he never harmed his wife and kids. Like, his wife and kids were standing on the porch crying as he went. It was more like he was hurting himself than anybody else.
Interesting.
Gerald, he had an account with me, and Gabriella, his lovely wife, came in to clear it up because she didn't want any scandal. Lovely lady. They were a respectable family, and I obviously I'm not one to gossip and, you know, talk about people's, you know, troubles, but I did ask her. And she was talking about seeing somebody with burning eyes.
Burning eyes?
Yeah, he was going on about eyes on fire, and he hated them.
Okay,
I mean,
Geralt,
Yes?
can we have a moment, please?
of course, I'll just go at the back a second, but of course, there's a bit more to tell, but of course I'll leave you alone. Do you need anything from the back?
Do
No,
you have
thank
any
you.
splash of anything to drink?
Is gin okay?
I think that's fantastic.
Okay, I'll get a couple of glasses. Of course, it's good to have company, as always, especially at this time of night. It's only,
Really?
yeah, it was going to close anyway in the next 10 minutes. And only there's always a straggler who goes past, but it gets a bit quiet at this time. But yes, give me a second. Leave with me. And he hustles out the back to go get a bottle and a couple of glasses.
Quite the talker.
We need to burn that house down.
I'm sorry.
That house is evil. Something in there is evil. And if everything he says is even partially true, the evilness in that house needs to be destroyed.
We're not arsonists.
You don't understand.
You're right, I don't understand. Could you perhaps explain it to me a little better? Because one moment we were scared out of our wits, you were thrown out a window. I understand why you don't want to be in the house, but that is a long way from burning it down.
There's something in there making people go crazy. There's a strange society that has something going on. I'm just telling you.
Yes.
In my heart, that place needs to be destroyed.
We were hired to do a job not to burn the man's house down.
I'm not saying we light the match, but I'm strongly recommending we tell that to Mr. Knott.
I don't want to offend you. We've worked together for years at this point, and I respect you as a colleague, and if I may be so bold, as a friend. You're not sounding right. There's something
right.
you're not telling me, because I don't understand how 1 + 1 = burning the man's house down.
When I was in the war, I was working on a medical ship. Men dying, men being sawn apart, men whose faces have been ripped off or limbs been lost to explosions. There was a night. It was just a night I can never forget. The water, the way the ship moved, the groaning of the men. Then I hear a scream. As I go to investigate, there's a shadowy figure. I was talking to the young man earlier the day. He seemed perfectly fine. The shadowy figure, I can't describe it properly, but whatever it was feeding upon him. I ran from the room screaming. And never, ever have I told anyone about this. But the following morning, when I finally was able to be brought back into that room, the young man was dead. He should have
You're
been
interrupted
perfectly
at
fine.
drinking the glasses as Dooley comes back in. Oh, sorry to interrupt, gentlemen. I wouldn't pry on a conversation, of course. Brian, sorry, it's just cut the tail end. But that's a terrible tale. Maybe this will, and he gives you each a glass and starts pouring gin into it. Gabriella was saying something similar afterwards. And that poor unfortunate soul was carted off a month later. She was talking about shadows and watching, and I don't know if you might get any. I don't know if you're allowed to even speak to her, but maybe she could help you.
At the asylum, you mean?
Yes, they're both. I don't know what sense you'll get out of Victoria. He completely gone, but she had to go herself. In fact, she voluntarily went. She didn't have to be carted off, and her poor kids had to go to a relative. But I don't know if she'll help you out. But that's terrible for somebody to go through that. And my friend, for what you've been through, I've only got nothing but sympathy.
So, yeah, I just clam up. I just stop talking. I'm not talking anymore.
Thank you very much.
He's kind of, he tops your glass up a bit more expectantly, seeing if you can get some more of this tale. He kind of realized he came out a bit too early from listening.
Yes, we do appreciate this, and thank you so much for the drink. And I just knock it back, put it on the table. What do we owe you for it?
Oh no. The buying the cigars is more than enough. It's more at this stage of my life. It's more about company and meeting people. And this just just facilitated. And
And what was his name?
sure.
Sam again?
Sam Dooley, yeah.
There's Sam, yeah. Well, Sam, we do truly appreciate your time and you welcoming us in. And clearly the cigars are top notch and the gin was quite enjoyable. But I'm afraid we are going to have to leave for the evening. I hope you have a fantastic night. Thank you so much for telling us what you knew about the Corbett house. I hope you do have a wonderful and fruitful venture in the future.
Oh, thank you. No, of course, I'm not one to gossip. So anything you've said there, and I accidentally overheard, I'll not repeat the other. So on my honor.
Give like a worried glance over at Rob. Very well. Have a good night.
And thank you for your custom. Come again, of course.
Of course. As soon as we get outside, I'm just gonna sort of stop. Still enjoying the cigar. Do we need to get rid of him in any way? I don't want to suggest anything harmful or strange, but he clearly was listening, and he clearly has loose lips.
I don't know. The feeling I felt in that house, is the same thing I felt on that ship. So whatever was going on in that house just now, you saw it or heard it, and I felt it. Something is evil inside that house.
Well, should we go to the asylum in the morning?
I don't think I'll be able to sleep.
Well, have some more of this gin. I think it might help.
Did you swipe the ball?
Well, I'm just going to give him my flask, whatever's in that.
Yeah, I'll just take it and knock it back.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that this night has gone as crazy and far as I'm willing to let it go personally.
Yeah, I think the night would be good. How are you guys for time? We've been at this for 3 hours.
I got to take a leak again if we're going to continue.
The way this has been set, there's obviously quite a bit more to go and find out. So
should we just break it and do another episode, or what do you think?
This has become more involved than initially planned. So
oh, really?
We're definitely going down a few rabbit holes. I'm really enjoying it. I'm good, obviously, for Robert. Obviously, I'm worried your guys' time. We didn't exactly agree on a time limit, which was a bit foolish.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think?
I could probably do another 45 minutes.
Do you want to take a quick break and then we'll do the asylum?
Yeah,
and then make your decisions from there?
Sure.
Another 5 minutes or so?
Yeah, it won't even be that long for me.
All right, okay. Yeah, probably. Okay, right. We'll take another quick break and then we'll wrap up. This will be tonight. So obviously you're injured, you're stressed, you've experienced something, you've actually been physically shaken. So it makes sense at this point for you just to retire for the night, mull over what's happening, and then reconvene at old Riley's and not Riley's, O'Malley's, sorry,
right,
office in the morning and go over everything.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So everyone, we will take a quick break and we will be back shortly.
Okay.
And we are back. So, after an eventful night, both of you slept, but not great. Sort of fitful, restful. He's agreed to meet back up at the office in the morning. He's come in, go to the office. Ian O'Malley's sitting there. He kind of looks, goes, "My God, I'm you fellas. But you look as if you've been in a fight."
I lost.
It was a hell of an evening.
What on earth did you get into?
This job is not as cut and dry as I suspected it would be. I don't think it's lead poisoning that drove those people insane.
You can't possibly suggest it's something else. Is there a game being played here?
We're not suggesting it's something else. Definitely.
What? Obviously, you haven't spoke to Ian since you started investigating. So fill me in. What's this all about?
It's going to sound incredibly insane at this point, and we haven't crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's as of yet, as it were. We need to visit the Roxborough Sanitarium before we can really get to anything, but I'm telling you, old man, this... I was excited for it to be something like this, and now that it is something like this, I'm quite terrified, and I know I'm being abstract and sort of all over the place about it, but...
I hope you're not taking one of your fancies again about these.
We saw some shit, man.
Well, question for you, Mr. O'Malley. Have you ever heard of a group in association with a church?
Church, this Boston, man. Churches everywhere with associations.
The Contemplation
Church of
Society.
Contemplation and the Church of the Lord's Granter of Secrets.
No, is that not that strange? Is that not that strange church you go on about, Gerald, that burnt down? Is that not close to the house?
It is very close to the house, and that organization that rose up in the ashes of the church, the Contemplation Society, put out a 100-year lease on Knott's home. And at some point, it was sold to Knott's, whether knowingly or unknowingly by the society, but something is still happening there, something nefarious at best, and downright murderous at worst.
Murder?
Well,
what are we getting into here?
I'm not sure. Not sure at all.
We thought someone was in the house for certain, but when we went to investigate, no one was there. But definitely something or someone is going through a lot of lengths to make it so us feel like the house is definitely dealing with something otherworldly. I understand that sounds crazy, but there's something very strange about that house.
I don't know what to say. This is we're not an agency of ghosts and goblins. That's those that's for the church to decide, and some of those wavy people that come over from the old country, they hold on to that nonsense. This is America, god damn it.
Indeed. To be fair, I truly believe there is some substance to the seemingly mad things we're saying.
Gerald, are you in control?
Yes, I'm quite fine. Thank you so much for your concern. If anything, this is making me drink, not a reaction of drinking. But as I said, we still have to speak to the former tenants. We haven't investigated the house thoroughly. I'm not entirely sure we want to go back. We haven't checked out the burnt husk of the church yet. We still have some leads, so we are not in the dark as of yet.
Okay. Well, the only thing I can say is be careful. Was anybody around the house can give you information?
We spoke to the cigar shop down the street. They told us that the family was very nice and a good contributor to society. And then one day, the father went crazy, then the mother went crazy, and the children have been sent off to foster care.
That's what Mr. Nutt said. That's why he wanted this all looked into. It was all very strange and not normal.
Well, if what happened to us last night happened to them, then I could see why.
Okay. give me 1 second. He goes over to the side of his desk and he has a Rolodex. I might have you want to go to the asylum?
Yes, Roxbury.
Yes.
Right. He starts fizzling through. Yes. This might help. And he pulls out he gets his phone. Hello. Yes, is Dr. Roberts available? Yes, thank you, my good man. Thank you. Yes. Jim. Hello. It's yes, long time. Said O'Malley. It's been a while. Yes. How are you? How are things there? Fantastic. Yes. Obviously, it's been a wee while since we helped you out with that little problem you're having. I don't want to be a bore or Colin, but could you possibly do me a massive favor? My two investigators. I know it's not protocol, but need to speak to some of your residents. Yeah, just obviously nothing. Just normal interview. Not alone or anything. We don't want to put anybody at risk. Of course. Yes, my friend. Yes. Yes. With this, I know it's a bit short notice, but this morning, do you know the Macario husband and wife? Yeah. Definitely Gabriella. What about Vittorio as well? Well, it's not that bad, is it? Could you at least speak to him? All right. Well, you never know. He might come out of it, but at least like I said, I'm sending over to my investigators. Are really top-notch guys. Yes. Of course. Yes. Of course. I really appreciate. I know you're putting yourself out in the limb here, but of course. Oh yes. This morning. Yeah. By 11, that'll be fantastic. Dr. Roberts, you're a true friend. Of course, Jim. Yes, of course. I know I get formal at times, but yes, I'll be sending them over. Yes. Okay. Yes, 11 o'clock then. Yes. Rob and Gerald will be coming. Of course. There'll be no imposition. No word of this whatsoever. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Speak soon. Okay. Yes, fellas. You know how these asylums places are like. They don't like strangers coming in and speaking to their guests. So of course, I can be assured of your discretion in this.
Of course.
Yeah. So Jim, just Dr. Roberts, just if you go to reception, ask for him. He'll let you speak to him. Apparently, Vittorio's in a bad way. I don't know what you'll get out of him, but maybe he's worth seeing at least to see what condition he's in. Gabriella is a bit more talkative. She signed herself in rather than being committed, which who does that?
Sounds odd to me.
Who signs himself in an asylum and loses their kids?
Someone hiding.
Crazy
something,
people?
I suspect. Someone who saw what we saw last night. A sustained period.
Well, of course, that'll be for you guys to judge, but I've managed to get that. If you can get up there by 11 o'clock, and like I said, if you ask for Dr. Roberts, he's expecting you.
Thank you very much for the help.
Yeah, that's we're all here to help each other, right? That's the nature of the business. Anything else? This is he starts jotting down the name. I will do an inquiry as I can to see what I can find out. But are you really saying secret societies? That's a bit far fetched.
Well, we're not saying it. It is from investigating what we discovered. The city hall, in fact.
Yeah, City Hall. So it's not that secret.
Just be careful, fellas. You know how that sort of talk can lead.
Right. Do you have any experience with this church, or have you heard anything about the society at all?
Never heard of them in my life. The only time you've ever mentioned when you were talking about the church burning down, that's the only time.
You don't think the mob would be involved in this, do you?
That far-fetched for the mob, don't you think?
Yes, but
I can understand them
drastic.
intimidating or burning a property down, but I wouldn't see them actually go to this. Like, the mob don't operate like that.
Right. Very well. Rob, should we head on?
Yeah.
Well, good luck,
Yeah.
fellas, and of course, remember, the door's all. I know I'm leaving you on your own in this, but I'm always here. You know that. Just be careful you don't bite off more than you chew.
Oh, we've already done that.
I think we have a handle on it, Rob. We can do this.
I'm telling you, there's something wrong about that house. It's just not normal.
I agree. Well, I think we should go search for answers at the asylum. Where else would you go for answers than the asylum?
Of course.
They're crazy people.
They know everything. All right. So we head over.
Right. So, as usual, there's the iron gates lead in. They're open during the day. Goes up nice. Everything's all very clean and clinical. It's white painted building. It's a bit fenced off. You can kind of see some people in the sort of scrubs, not the scrubs, the patient uniforms. They're in the garden, so you can kind of guess they're the more, stable folks that are maybe just getting help but can still go into society. As you get closer to the front door, you can almost feel the oppression. You know things. You know that you're entering into not a nice place. The sort of open and airiness of the garden as you go up the front steps quickly starts to become claustrophobic. You go into the front sort of reception area, and then the smell of bleach, from things being sterile. You see the front desk. There's a stern-faced, not even a receptionist, but it looks like an orderly. So you can already tell even the people in reception are, clinical staff. So you can't get that atmosphere straight away. This is a serious place.
I'm going to lean over to Rob and sort of put my hand on your shoulder, like, I really don't like it in here. Is there any way you could take the lead in this?
Sure. You can't catch crazy.
I'm not entirely sure about that. It's not scientific, but I don't want to. I want to be able to leave, and I'm afraid if we start talking about what happened, we may not.
Yes, I agree. We don't talk about that at all.
Okay. Well, this stern-looking potato woman, perhaps you could address her on my behalf. She kind of freaks me out.
So
I walk up to the front counter.
Yeah. Can I help you, gentlemen?
Go up nice. Hi, Miss. We're looking for Dr. Robertson, I think it was.
Yeah,
Roberts?
Dr. Roberts, yeah. Sorry, just name off the top of my head, yeah. Oh, yes, and she looks in her visitor's book. Oh, yes, he's expecting you. Sorry, hold on first. Your names, please?
Rob Horton.
Yes, and there's one other gentleman with you, is that correct?
Hans Gruber.
Don't say that
I
here.
have a machine gun.
Gerald Hellstadt. Gerald Hellstadt.
You can just tell straight away she has no sense of humor whatsoever. Gentlemen, I hope you know this is a serious place of people with troubled minds who we try to heal.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry. I was out of line. I apologize. I just sort of give a side eye to you, Rob, like, oh, fuck.
She kind of sniffs at you and presses the intercom button. And two visitors for Dr. Roberts. Only takes a few moments, and the door catch, and you see a sort of tall, lean fella in his sort of late 50s, white hair, back. He's got that tired look about him. Somebody that's been in the job for too long. Gentlemen, are you Ian's colleagues?
Yes, we are going to. We need to speak to Gabriella. I believe Vittorio Macario is not available, but Gabriella is.
You could. Well, of course, I'm sure you kind of know a bit about the backstory. It's a tragic case of like paranoid delusion. Obviously, I can't talk about openly. This is out in the news. I can't talk about patient records. You could see Vittorio if you wanted. I don't know what you'll get out of him. He's not. Uh, he keeps rambling the same phrase over again. I don't know what you'll get out of that. Gabriella, certainly. Just I would ask that you be sensitive and careful in your questioning. I'm sure you're aware this is a traumatic event
Yes, of course.
and still hasn't recovered. She signed herself in here voluntarily. Which
Out of curiosity, what is the phrase he's saying over and over again?
By his own weapon is the devil worsted. That's he just says it over and over again. He carries a Bible, but I've never heard that phrase in the Bible. But yeah, it's just that one phrase over and over.
Is the devil what? Worsted?
By his own weapon is the devil worsted.
What the hell does worsted mean? Worsted.
It's
Okay.
like I said, this is the man's not
Maybe
well.
maybe he likes doesn't like the devil doesn't like sausages or something.
It's Worcestershire. He's really not one for spice in any form, really.
He doesn't like bratwurst.
I mean, not even a little.
You aren't
salt.
saying this all. You aren't saying this out loud.
No. I'm just fucking around.
Put your out of game. I know, like when LARPers have to put their hand up and say they're out of game.
Yeah. And you get a card or something. All right, so I'm following Rob's lead. I'm just sort of like staying back. I'm genuinely concerned about not being able to leave here. So,
as you walk down, you hear various sounds in the corridors and moans and just you get a sense of agony. This is not a nice place. You can see that Dr. Roberts, he maintains a stiff countenance, but this man is weary. He deals with this on a daily basis, and he's somebody that he feels like he's just putting a band-aid and everything. He's not getting any breakthroughs. He's just here as a caretaker as opposed to a healer. Mm-hmm. Whatever ideas he had of coming into this field is long gone, being in this sanitarium.
Yeah.
You go up, there is a visitors area. You can see there's table chairs, there's two orderlies by the door. You get that sense as well, there's always orderlies around it. Even though it's quiet, there's people just ready to pounce if needs be. You get the impression this is a tinderbox.
Great.
That anything can just go at any time. It's just that the volatile nature of the residence just leads to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you go into the visitor's room. You are given a seat at the chair, and sure enough, an orderly comes in not too long after. You see this. She would have been considered attractive at one point, but this is a broken woman. She's sort of hunched over and frail. Her eyes are kind of darting around the place. She's always on edge. You see a kind of a sadness in her face. The orderly's almost like tender with her, as if he's afraid, like she's porcelain, and the orderly's worried that she'll break.
Mm-hmm.
He gently puts his arm on her shoulder to lead her down to the chair. She kind of nods at him. There's a bit of a nod between them. Hello?
Hello there. Is it Gabriella? May I call you Gabriella?
Yes, Gabriella's fine. I've not had a visitor for years. What can I do for you?
We wanted to talk to you about your family and
she kind of sighs a bit and sort of withdraws. What family? The kids? What? Are they okay?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with your kids. We were just wanted to know a little bit about your history of why you came to this town and where you've your husband used to own a restaurant, I believe, right?
She flinches at the name of a mention of her husband, and she almost tears start immediately welling up into her eyes. Oh, Victoria, troubled man. What? Why would you want to know about us? We're just ordinary people. We had enough of reporters always asking and prying, and we're not pieces of meat.
No, we're not reporters. We're actually trying to investigate something about the situation of why you found yourself here and how we can help. Make sure that no one else has to go through your experience.
Don't go there. Don't go there. Stay away from it. Don't go. It's a bad place. Bad place. Don't go there. Please don't. For the love of God, don't go there.
So I look over at Gerald and say, I'm telling you, the place is evil.
My dear, I'm terribly sorry for what you and your entire family have gone through. We would really like to understand exactly what it was that you went through. We are open in mind, and to be fair, we do need to get to the bottom of this. So if you could put your chin up and perhaps share your personal experience, we really would. It would help us.
My chin up. I watched my husband go insane in front of me. I watched them. It hated them. It absolutely hated them, despised them. It wouldn't leave them alone.
What?
I don't know. It's evil. It's dark. It's those eyes. It wouldn't leave him alone. He tried, and oh, God bless him. He tried to protect us, and he couldn't. I couldn't do it. They took him away. They took it away, and it came after me.
What came after you?
Those eyes that watched me at night, and I undressed, and I always felt its eyes watching on me. I'd wake up, and it would be there. Why would you want to know about that? It's bad. She starts wringing her hands, and you can see she's visibly, just even the thought of it, starting to really shake her up. No more, please, no more. I wanted to stop. Stop him looking at me. I just want to be left.
Have you ever had a priest in the house?
No. Why? We tried.
Have you ever tried?
Sorry, wrong. Sorry, middle character. Give me a second. He's kind of busy. Yeah. Father Riley couldn't help. He tried, and we're devout. We prayed. We went to church. We had the crosses blessed. He tried to help us. There was only one room that was safe. She starts that, I had to let them, for their own safety. I don't want this thing that's attached to me go to them. They don't deserve that. They're only children.
Is the room that's safety is the one with the crucifixes on the wall?
We could at least sleep there. We huddled at night after Vittorio. Once Vittorio went, he's a brave man. He gave himself to protect us. What more could you want from a husband? Oh my Vittorio, he didn't deserve that.
Have you ever heard of the Contemplation Society?
The what?
Well, I'm just trying to understand. The home was owned by someone before your renter.
Well, we rented it off Mr. Knott. He was a decent man. He actually gave us fair rates. Is that why he gave us it? He wanted us. Were we being set up?
No, I do not believe that at all. I think what you're dealing with is something entirely different and not of this world even, perhaps. We do believe you, and we are terribly sorry for what you have experienced and the pain and suffering you've had to go through.
She starts to break down and sob, and I just want peace again. It's a sin to end yourself, but I just want peace again.
Is it followed you here?
I don't know. I don't know. I hope.
Have
no,
you had any
so-
more? Have you had any
No,
more
it's peaceful in
occurrences?
here. I
peaceful.
dream sometimes.
Well, that's good.
She's
But
starting to, she's starting to get visibly agitated. What? Could it come here? Could it come
no,
here after me?
I don't believe it can. I
No.
think you are quite safe.
She's now getting, the thought of it coming, starting to get really agitated, almost hysterical.
So is there anything we can do to
the
try to calm
orderly-
her down?
The orderly's starting to look at you with a stern eye.
You could always give her a nip of the bottle. I just look over at you funny, like and smile.
I'm not gonna. I'm sure there's like rules. or
That was
something
out of
like
game,
that.
of course.
It is illegal, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
is this
when did
prohibition? It probably is.
start 1929, wasn't it?
No, 1921, I think that was prohibition.
Oh, right, shit, yeah. Yeah, the orderlies are starting to look at you now because Gabriella's getting really agitated, and you've kind of started to plant the seed in your mind that this thing could come after her, even in here.
Okay.
Did you bring it with you?
Oh no! Don't be no. You have nothing to worry about. You are quite safe. I do wish you a continued, hopeful recovery, and Again-
don't go near my kids. Leave them. Don't bring them into this.
of
This is
course
my burden.
I would never dream. Why is it your burden, though?
It's my turn next. He came after me. If he comes after me, that's fine. I'll go. But
What does it do when it comes after?
she's starting to, she's just starting to. No, not my kids.
Can
Not
we
my
help your
kids.
husband, perhaps?
Vittorio's gone.
He's
not here
alive.
anymore. She's now like starting to break down and cry, and the orderlies are starting to look sternly at you, and
I'm going to raise my hand and sort of like motion them to come over.
they'll come over and they're well. If you've never been in an asylum before or seen, they're actually more tender with her than they would be anyone else. They're actually almost protective.
Well, that's good.
The orderlies take her and sort of get her back out of the meeting room. Doctor, I hope you're not going to. Hope your plan wasn't to upset our patients. It took us months to get her to talk.
Of course not. No, don't be ridiculous. We do have some other questions, though. I was hoping perhaps we could speak to her husband.
You'll.
We understand the
Good try.
state he is in.
Follow me.
Yes, sir.
Doctor takes you. You start to see now you're going through more into a more secure wing,
Freaking out.
and there's orderlies, and doors are opening and being locked behind you.
Oh, man.
Screams are getting louder,
Oh, man.
and you hear thumping, like people banging their heads off walls, and halfway up you see two orderlies wrestling with someone who's screaming and getting put into a straitjacket so that they don't harm themselves. Doctor holds you back from the scene. You watch as it sort of unfolds, or the guy's trying to claw his face off. That their orderlies are wrestling with him, and they put him in a bundle and they take him back into the cell. Doctor's like, "I'm sorry, these are lost souls."
Pull out my handkerchief and I'm like dotting the sweat off my face. Like,
He takes you
no,
up
I
to the.
understand.
You as you walk past that cell, you see the guy actually getting strapped into the bed, as well as having the straight jacket.
I like lean over and whisper to Rob, "Do we really need to talk to him? Perhaps we could just get out now while we still can."
And
Well,
you come up to the end of the
it'll
corridor.
be okay. It'll be
And,
okay.
gentlemen, I'm sure you appreciate it. I'm not going to open this door. But
We understand.
he pulls down the hatch.
Mr.
This
Mercurio,
This was Vittorio Mercurio. You sort of look in. You can see the disheveled man. What might have been once really well cared for, black hair, is now just completely disheveled. He's in the corner. He doesn't even sit in the bed. He sits in the corner. He's got a Bible. You can see that it's ragged. It's just been held on to, and it's been bent and twisted. But he won't let go of it. And you can kind of hear him whispering, muttering to himself. By his own weapon is the devil worse. By his own weapon is the devil worse. By his own weapon is the devil worse. And he's just rocking back and forth in the corner, like the more animalistic than human. He's in another place.
I'm going to put my handkerchief to my face and back up.
I look at
You
Dr.
can
Roberts.
smell an unwashed body. The cell's actually dank. The doctor says we try to wash him once a week, at least to keep him healthy from harming himself. We can't actually prise that Bible from his hands. It's actually dangerous.
Doctor, question. Has the priest come and visited the family in here, the couple?
The family priest
Father Riley?
tried. Father Riley has come in once or twice, but it actually makes it worse. And that's all he says. You can get nothing else out of him.
Question, Father Riley, do you know where he lives or where he preaches out of? What church he?
The Church of St. Augustine. Obviously, I can't give you his personal details. That's confidential. But I know he operates out of St. Augustine's church in the neighborhood. I think it's one of the last churches left. And that it's more of a industrial area now, as far as I'm aware. He stopped coming. He just, he could do nothing for them, and they don't really respond anymore to even Gabriella. Just closed them out.
Thank you.
If there's anything else, gentlemen, like I said, I don't think you can. Like I said, this is not a good place to be. A lot of lost souls here in this wings, definitely.
I think we're good to go. Thank you so much for your help.
Oh, good. He closes up the hatch, and then he starts to walk you back out. And of course, you stop. You're patted down this time to make sure nothing's nothing's went missing. Have you got everything that you came with? Every time you're asked.
Sweet hell. Yes, I hope.
Yeah, I think so. You can check me again if you want.
Yeah, it's just more the check that they want the patients to, like, a patient in this wing with a pen can do a lot of damage, for example.
Make sure you inspect his prison wallet. Just give it a thorough go around.
Step
You
out.
gotta pay for that kind of action.
It's almost like night and day. The smell of bleach and sterile and depressing, just the minute you step out that front door, just dissipates. You feel the breeze.
I'm like holding on to the railing up to the stairs, like, oh, we're free. We're out. I thought we were goners for sure.
Put my hand on your shoulder, and it's all right. You did great.
Thank you. I did do rather well, didn't I? Find my flask like rumbling through my jacket. Oh good God.
It's empty.
Oh God.
You haven't realized it's actually empty.
Well, I say, how about some Italian?
Mario's?
Of course.
Maybe just speakeasy.
Can we go to Fat Sam's if we're going to a speakeasy?
Yeah.
Right, gentlemen.
Fat
Anything
Sam's,
else?
Grand Slam.
Anything you want to do, or do you want to go and get a hair of the dog or a bit of courage before?
The cue I got was the Reverend. I mean, I feel like we're sort of going on a tangent anyway at this point, but just to be thorough, I would like to maybe not this episode, but whenever we can next, I would like to talk to that reverend that dealt with the family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Father Riley.
Yeah.
Father Riley.
I mean, quite frankly, I'm sort of at a point where I don't really want to go back to the house. Like I feel like we need to for the adventure, but I don't want to go back to the house.
I want to go back to the house with a flamethrower and melt the place down.
Yeah, there's obviously more to this story. It's not. There's obviously a bit more to it.
Yeah. Well, if we're like completely going down like crazy directions, feel free to course correct if you need to.
Absolutely. You're not at the moment. You're not deviating from the plot. You're actually incorporating things in. That's why I'm going on with it.
Okay.
All roads lead back to the Corbett house at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But you've
inevitable doom.
You have touched on a few things, so we'll not go any further with this episode, but definitely touched on a few things, and it's not just the events of Corbett. You've kind of touched on that society as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely worth investigating. Maybe better armed next time.
My guy does not use weapons because he is.
There's different types of ways to arm yourself.
We might have to visit a priest. Get some crucifixes, get some holy water, more batteries.
Some batteries, some replacement flashlight bulbs.
Yeah.
You've got a whole. Do you remember what was that? The one about the tooth fairy.
Huh?
Darkness was really awful.
Oh, Darkness Fall?
Darkness Fall, yeah. Where the guy, after he encounters the tooth fairy when he's a kid, and then later on he's got all the flashlights in his pockets, and he's like batteries and.
I actually like that movie. The movie was actually stupid, but really fun to watch.
It was daft as hell, but there was now. I think it was his characters in adult age kind of threw everybody off. You're like, what the hell's this guy? But coming back like that, you're going to have batteries everywhere and spare torches and.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna live in Las Vegas where it never has no light. So.
I feel like that's gonna be us going into the house next time, for sure.
So get one of them like searchlights.
Yeah, we're just gonna be like wheeling in a generator.
Bat signal, you know what I mean? You wheel in the bat signal.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm bringing a kerosene lamp with me this next time. That way, if it falls on the ground, it's starting to fire somewhere.
Oops.
That's going well. All right then. Well, I'm glad you are on board and enjoying it. This is it's definitely turning to be a great adventure, and had all potential to be end prematurely there, but he's did some sensible actions despite charging in. But really great. Everyone that's been involved in the chat and watching, thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed this. We will pick up again for the second session, and we'll carry on with investigations, and definitely quite a good bit to go on this adventure, and I'm sure we can bring some more in it. Derek, Adam, thank you very much, guys, for taking part. This is my first time running this game on a stream. I was nervous as hell, but I've really got into it and I was started. So thank you very much. This has been really good experience, and I'm looking forward to the next time.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What we'll do is we'll schedule the stream. We'll pick a date, because obviously on Adam's channel, Dragonlance Saga, which you've seen me appear on, there'll be adventures in between. So we'll love our role playing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep you up to date with that there. But yeah, folks, keep up to date with the channel. Check in. I'll leave the link for Adam's channel. And Derek, have you anything going on with anything yourself?
No, I don't really do anything with YouTube or
it will happen
like that. So
don't get something in this world. Trust me. For the end of the year, you'll have a YouTube channel. It's just inevitable. It is your destiny.
It's your destiny.
There we go, folks. Thanks again. Keep up with the other channel. Do the typey clicky things. And until next time, keep it creepy.
Keep it horrific.